Perhaps I can give you justice in the name of our king.
Hello, and welcome back to the podcast that drinks and knows things. I am Luke. Our episode today is entitled Never Hold Hands. This is an episode that we are recording on May 6th of 2019, and it is Season 8, Episode 4, The Last of the Starks. Listen to this Drinks and Knows podcast on Radio Public. It is free, it is easy to use, and it does help listeners like you find and support shows just like this one. When you listen to this show or any of the shows at thepodcastthat.com, everyone benefits. I am joined via satellite, Gertie of House Condescension.
Hello.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking spiced apple wine from the winery at, I already forgot, Versailles.
Versailles, Ohio.
Yes, Versailles, Ohio. It's very tasty.
Is it tasty, though?
It's very, very tasty.
Well, good. We'll talk about that as we go along. Well, I'll ask you for, once you're 3/4 of the bottle in, if you still are enjoying it as well as you
I think I already am.
When you open the next bottle, we'll talk about it. I'm also joined via satellite, Sly of House McLean. What's up?
Hello, hit the button, Luke.
So this button, you don't like when I have it on studio mode, do you?
No, I don't.
I don't like it either. It's terrible.
Turn it back.
Glenn likes it on studio mode, so I'm probably gonna go back and forth as we're recording. Benj, what are you drinking?
I am drinking my Eastern Time Zone beer of Yingling. Since Abby gave me crap for calling it an Eastern state, it's an Eastern Time Zone. There, fine. Yingling.
Yingling. It's beer. And also joining me here in studio, Glenn of House Dizog.
Yo, dude.
What you drinking?
I am drinking a birch beer.
A birch beer? You're actually having a diet birch beer.
You'll have a diet birch beer.
You'll have a diet birch beer. And I am drinking a Bud Ice because good shit. It's really cheap and it'll get you drunk. So, this show and all of our shows at thepodcastthat.com are produced with the love and support of our wonderful Imaginary Legion patrons. Learn more about our reward tiers at patreon.com/stayimaginary. Friend of the show.
No. Sorry.
Throne Fantasy. Who's got their app pulled up, and can we get a top 5 read off of who's in the lead? I don't think there was a whole lot of change from last week.
I took a big dive.
I think I moved up.
I moved up a little bit. I think I went from like 29 to 25 or something.
Yeah. I moved from 12th to 10th.
There you go.
Top 10, baby.
David Letterman would give a shit about you now. Benj, you have been muted the whole time you've been talking.
Okay, then. Well, no. So, Luke, you moved up 2 spots, like you said. Glenn moved up 2 spots. Abby, you stayed the same. So, you are still in 29th place, I believe. Yes, you were still in 29th. Luke is in 27th. So, Luke, you moved up one spot. Sorry, you were in 28th last week. Glenn, you moved up to spot 10. I stayed in second position behind Team Dracarys, Tamiris Neves. And then third place is House Decker. Fourth place is Sir Pounce's Revenge, Christy of Oldstones, and Graham Macer Button rounding out the top 5 with Dan Sidebottom, all in the 140s. It looks like we all get about 2,000, anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 points at the top here for this week. At the bottom of the list, I don't think much has changed from last week. We got K86 RYU, Murray Hill, The Squishers, Monero Robert, Queen Sessa Something Mackenzie, Mother of Blankets, and White Lives Matter.
All right. Is that descending down to the bottom?
That's descending. That's 43 to 47. So
All right. All right.
yeah,
Nice job.
No change at the bottom.
Nice job, toppers. Nice attempt. Reasonable attempt, bottomers. Thank you guys all again for hopefully you're enjoying. I know I woke up this morning and checked it out and was like, hey, things happened.
I actually didn't like jump right on it. Usually I am, but this week since I so well up, I'm like, I don't think there was too much of a change.
Yeah, not a whole lot in this one. You guys ready to talk about this episode?
Yeah.
Oh, that was really
Let's do it.
excited, guys.
Okay.
Okay, I guess.
It's fine.
Do we have to? This is season 8, episode 4. It was 78 minutes long. It aired yesterday on Cinco de Mayo, 2019. Directed by David Nutter, his third episode this season, and was written by David and Dan. Abby, what was that episode description?
Jon and Daenerys look to the south in the wake of a costly victory. Tyrion proposes a compromise which could help ease tensions.
Okay. So let's go ahead and take a crack at our opening credits.
Same as they've been, except there's no flipping tiles.
This
I
time
made
there
sure
was
to
no
watch-
flipping tiles. I watched.
Okay, just saying. So yeah, no flipping tiles. They're stopped just south of Winterfell with the white tiles, but nothing really new.
The only thing I noticed was kind of parts of Winterfell were in disarray,
Yeah.
but not like the whole thing. It didn't seem too bad.
It
Just like
wasn't
kind of the interior part of it.
obliterated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Gotcha, I
about
didn't-
it though.
Didn't
Mhm.
notice it. That's awesome.
King's Landing, still there.
Yep.
All right, so let's go ahead and move into our first scene here. First area is Winterfell, where we have the Northern Alliance. Benj, what happened?
Yeah, so the dead are mourned, and the Warden of the North gives a eulogy.
Okay. Benj, why don't you kick us off here on your overall thoughts on this?
Yeah. So my first thought, and I will give a shout out to my wife on this as we were watching the episode. I said, there's really no need to burn the bodies anymore because the whole point of burning them was so they won't come back.
Mhm.
But then she made a great counterpoint. She's like, yeah, but it's frozen, and that's a lot of holes to dig, so just easier to burn them all. It's like, that's actually sound advice. That's sound reasoning. I'm like, I can live with that. So I just want to give her a shout out that. But the tune, I just realized this on the watch through as I was taking these or doing the notes and screen caps. It's the same as the the piano solo. It's the same exact tune, and I think I've heard it mentioned that it's called "The Dragon and the Wolf." Is the name of that tune.
Hmm.
So it's kind of a mixture of the Stark and Targaryen themes. That's why it felt familiar. But it's that's what it's. I've read that in chats, like people have mentioned. Oh yeah, it's called the Dragon and the Wolf theme. I'm like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that could make sense. We'll see when the official soundtrack comes out, or if
Yeah.
they specifically say. But yeah, that's a good point about the burying them there. But they also have these wide open crypts nowadays. Like I don't know, Glennie, what are your thoughts on this scene here?
With the scene, yeah. So it just seems like one of those situations where all the important characters on the show grab a torch and proceed to the wood piles. I mean,
Yeah.
as far as like the people that could like walk, and it just seemed like a lot of the important characters were going up to these wood piles and putting them in. Kind of reminds me of like a Catholic mass where kind of there's like the people that give the gifts and stuff like that. There's people that are doing the readings, and it's just like, okay, these people have jobs, so that means they're important.
If you don't have one of the jobs, you can fuck right off.
Father,
You're not
what
important.
makes this night more
Oh,
important
Abby,
than
stop it.
other nights?
Abby, stop it. Is there incense yet? Can I leave?
I know, right?
Oh
We've been
man.
here 27 years. My children have never got to say, Father, what makes this? Never mind. Going on, moving
Okay.
forward.
Yeah.
Inside joke.
Yeah.
Everybody drink. That's a Hogan.
Everybody drink. Yeah, no, I noticed that too. Whenever they start handing out these torches, and it's like, oh, only the named characters are invited to do this. Like, I mean, clearly there's like Unsullied out in the field.
Yeah, there's people in the fields,
but I also
so
have
like the important front parts
like
of the piles.
what's
are,
going on in the back, very back left. You know, like
Well,
there's like a
Who
whole.
got those? That who
Yeah.
who lit those? Like,
The Unsullied, like
there's guys out there.
is there
All the way in that
okay.
back, all the way that deep far line.
yeah.
Everything.
Way the fuck back there?
Yeah.
Is that even a pile?
That's
though?
what I'm asking. What that is?
I don't think it is.
I don't know if it is because
There's a kind of a gap.
I know. Is that like the piling of all the dead white body parts and shit that they were like? Because it looks really nice and clean here, not too far out from the walls. And I'm like, man, they took
The
some
stuff
time
that
to
they don't
clean
really
this
give
shit
it,
up.
they don't really give a shit about the whites, so they're
And the Dothraki and you know other things that were just the horses. Let's just go drag those fuckers out there because we don't want to pay for them. But Abby, what do you think here?
I think John sounds like a king and he sounds like a leader that is worthy of his following. My very first thought of this was, why isn't the queen delivering this speech?
Because it. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, not because it was like, oh, Danny. Well, I do think it's a misstep on her part, because you could have won some hearts and minds here, like delivering this very moving, touching speech, but you just stand there and let John kind of take the
Glory.
I think
not really glory, but like be the face of the healing after
Mhm.
the very start of the healing. We're looking to John.
I just think
So-
that he has more experience in these kind of ceremonies, being like in the Night's Watch and stuff like that. Like he knows the processes and stuff like that. I think Danny doesn't really know. I don't think they really do this.
And as Danny had said to Sansa a couple episodes ago, this is his war.
Yeah,
This
that was
wasn't-
what I was going to reference to.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
But
No, you're
yeah,
good. That was. Yep. This is his war.
I
She
just
came up here to
think
fight with
it
him.
was a misstep on her part. Not like, oh, this clearly makes John the king, but
You learn how to do this stuff.
if she would have done it, it would have been like an extra step forward to what she wants.
I very much agree with the sentiment. Like
Yeah.
I'm totally with you, but I don't think it would have worked and it would have fallen flat because you have people
the
like
North.
Sansa around who are like, who the fuck does she think she is? Like she would have been personally affronted and made that a thing, and that's why.
What a misstep by coming up and stepping up to the plate.
Right.
If anything, it could have
Yeah.
been like a combined effort. Like they should have
Right.
done it as a team. I think John did a wonderful job. Absolutely.
Oh,
And like
And
when
sounds-
his voice breaks like 2 or 3 times in it, like it was like
But
yeah,
I was gonna
he's
say, This
hoarse.
is the manliest I've heard him ever speak. There's always been a touch of teen or kid
Are you
when
saying that he killed?
Battlefield.
Are you saying that he killed the boy?
he dropped the bass. There definitely was a
Balls
tone
dropped.
shift. Like, yeah, there was definitely a tone shift, and I mean, I liked it. He sounded, as Abby pointed out, more kingly, than I've ever heard him
Kingly.
before.
Dang me.
Kingly Baratheon. Yeah, I thought the overall pyres looked pretty cool. Definitely a nice ceremony. They definitely work it in a bunch of the Night's Watch kind of words here as well. Pretty neat little compilation of it all. I thought.
I think everyone that's dead on these pyres, they look okay, except for Beric Dondarrion. He looks fucking weird. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you have a screenshot of that.
Doesn't
But
look like.
I don't know. I don't think I'd have
Okay,
that
never mind.
one. Yeah. No, but I know what
Use
you're
your
talking
imagination,
about.
folks.
Well, and obviously, like as they're walking up to these, each person is like, Sansa goes to Theon's, and Danny goes to Jorah, and then Sam goes to Ed. And I'm like, well, who the fuck is John gonna go to? Was my next and then he goes to Lyanna Mormont, and I was like, that's good. Like,
See, I kind of I
Go ahead.
agree with you, but I kind of felt Davos deserved Lyanna because of the connection with the little kids and the speech, the connection those two had kind of had in their first interaction, kind of thing. I don't know, it would have felt a little more fitting just to let John stand there almost
Watch,
and
oversee.
watch. But or just a random, have him go up and
You
just
go to
burn a random
everybody.
wildling,
Yep.
like
Or they should just have the dragons do a flyover and roast everyone. Bam.
yeah.
And
Done.
well, never mind.
Then
never
no
mind.
one's
Yeah,
special.
but that would have been sloppy.
Everybody has to watch Making a Murderer. You can't just light people on fire in a bonfire. It's not gonna work. I learned this at your house, you guys.
We're
Watching
not.
it.
No, you watched the show. You didn't learn that at our house. Let's be really careful what we're putting out on the internet. We didn't like test
Let's
out
let's
burning bodies.
reenact.
You know,
They
Reenact
were
Making a
watching
Murderer.
this
we're gonna take the
show
cameras outside. We're gonna show you how this doesn't work.
Right.
Let's move. past
Anyways,
this.
so I think we do see Ghost back there. He's kind of beat up a little bit. There's also Jan Royce is visible. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. But
I missed him, or maybe I saw him. I don't remember.
anyway, he's there. Yeah, that's Ghost right there. So
Ghosty.
he's been
Ghost spotting,
kind of
which is very
beat the
different
shit
than,
a little bit.
than train spotting. Yeah, no, he's got like an ear torn and pretty beat up. It says a lot here. I thought he was one of the more vocal characters. It was good ghost scene. I think. Any other thoughts here, or do you want to move inside?
Let's go feasting.
All right, take us into the feast bench.
All right, a feast is held in honor of the dead and to salute the living. Gendry wants to find Arya, but the Hound tells him to fuck off. Dany finds a new loyal lord of Storm's End. Tyrion chats with Davos about Mel, then Bran about lordship, and settles on a drinking game with Jaime and Brienne. Tormund sings the praises of the Dragon Queen, and she sings the praises of the hero of Winterfell.
Lenny, why don't you kick us off here?
Sure. So we see this scene. Arya is nowhere to be found. Gendry's trying to look for her, stuff like that. And then when Dany gives credit where debit is due, kind of honoring, hey, to Arya Stark, the hero and all this or whatever, and he's still like everyone like cheers and stuff like that, but nobody like looks around and where's she at? Like, come and take a bow or something like that. I kind of figured something like this would happen. Like she would have to get all the praise for killing the Night's King, but at the same time, like she probably just doesn't. The nameless, faceless victim.
That's not her. She's at the stand up in front and take praise. She's the, well, I did my job. I'm gonna get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And, do her own thing. I definitely thought, the legitimizing of Gendry was pretty cool. Like I thought that was pretty well done. I was a little awkward at first because like Dany's never said a word to this kid, and then all of a sudden like Gendry, that's you, right?
I know exactly who
You're
you
Gendry, right? Yeah. So like it was nice. I thought they did a good job. And I think Gendry kind of earned it. He seemed to have pulled his weight and showed the fuck up and used his skills at least to get the dragon glass and shit together, and good on him.
Going along with Gendry here and Dany's interaction, you never know where she's going with things. She comes in like, are you Gendry? Aren't you the son of Robert Baratheon, the one who unthroned my father? And I'm like, holy shit, like he just helped you win this, like, where's this going? And she's like, sounds like you should be, Lord Gendry. And I'm like, damn girl, like figure out how to like come in.
Right. He was on trial.
Not so hot. Like shit. I was like worried for a minute. I'm like, man, it's just so accusatory or hostile off the bat
Mm-hmm.
that I think it is off-putting to a lot of people when she's trying to win these people over and it's not working. Maybe give a little bit of kissing ass. I don't know. Like, that's just me. That's not her, but that's me.
Yeah, no, she certainly comes in guns ablazing, and everything she says is like I think you said it very well, accusatory. It's like you're the natural born son of Robert, or
you son of a bitch.
Do I have to be right now? Can I opt out of this? Like
I didn't even know. Like he's already like defensive and like, oh my god, like
reasonably.
Look, like,
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
I don't.
That she called me as a bastard. It wasn't me.
My other thought on this scene is just this short Gendry and Sandor chat, and not that it actually happened, but how terrifying would it be for you to get the like, "Dad, I'm cleaning my gun" talk from Sandor Clegane?
For Arya.
Yeah, for Arya. Like, I'll just be sitting here, you know.
That's pretty funny.
He
That's-
calls him a twat.
You fucking twat.
I know what you want. Don't act like he just called him out on the shit. He's like, "Fuck you."
Where's Arya at? I want to congratulate her on the. No. Fuck you. You don't.
He's like, it's not about that. It is. The dead
It's
are
always-
dead. You're alive. What the fuck else are you gonna do? Like what? That's what you're supposed to do. That's literally a part of being alive. Like, do it. Benj, what do you got here?
Yeah, so the Hound doesn't people well. Yeah, we've known that, but you could just tell he's like, "Fuck off! Just let me eat my goddamn chickens." I didn't even look. Did they count? Was he? I'm pretty sure he was eating chickens, but I don't know if they
think they
counted it in
counted
the
it.
app. Damn.
I don't think
Okay.
it was confirmed, chick.
Yeah, it might not have been confirmed chicken. It might have been
Probably pheasant.
sausage. Yeah. But I'm gonna move on to the next part of it where we kind of jump to Tormund trying to encourage John to drink. He's like, "Yeah, drink it. I'm not drinking all of it. Yep, drinking all of it. Vomiting's not party, not celebrating. Yes, it is. Just yeah, it is." And then he goes into the I saw him writing that thing. I did. No, you didn't. Or we all saw him. No, I saw him.
I think
Yeah,
that was
this
his,
seems
like, yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
No.
I did. And it just called back some very similar or familiar situations I think we've had with family members and stuff that tend to be like that when drinking, including myself. I call myself out, but I'm thinking of another person specific. Just reminded me very heavily of that, of who's been on the show before. Just beer hog. Very much reminded me of
He's
Beer
not,
Hog.
he's not a beer chugger though. He doesn't chug
He's
beer
not a
at all.
chugger, no, but very much the attitude.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Alright,
but no, there's
fair
nothing
enough.
wrong with
Usually in
it.
it for
Very
the long
jovial,
haul.
very jovial. So just fun.
So
Anyway.
another quick part of this scene, after we have kind of a one-on-one with Davos and Tyrion, which I thought they did a pretty good job of chatting with each other. Tyrion moves on over to Bran, and he's like, Tyrion tells Bran, you know more history in our realm than anybody. Like, that's really cool. Like, it'd be awesome to be you, because that's kind of the thing Tyrion likes. These are his strengths and his interests. And Bran's like, no, you don't want to envy me. Like, I pretty much just live in the past. Like, I don't really
want it.
I'm not really here, so
I don't want anymore.
I don't really want anything anymore. I don't know. Bran is doing Bran things, and I think he's spot on for what he needs to be doing. I don't know. Like, it's
But he's just doing
he's
weird.
doing a little bit weird things. He's pretty honest about it. I don't know if he necessarily loves it, but that's just what he is. I think he realizes Tyrion's true self of being someone who likes being more alive, more incorporated in the world, where Bran's more of just an overseer. He doesn't really participate. He's just there to be and collect. He's not really there to live anymore, and I don't think Tyrion realizes that
So,
yet.
do you think he's kind of done, almost, or is he going to kind of help out with the the new threat in the south, or is he just kind of I'm done that thing with the Night's King? That was me, and I'm pretty much done.
I don't know if he has a whole lot more to do. I'm kind of in agreement with you. I think his main thing was, well, I mean, they've set him up that he's really just a collection of ideas and memories. He's not really even a participator
Like
in
a
anything.
Book of Eli type situation.
Yeah, he'll be around, but it's really just to record things. It's not really to participate, is how I'm feeling about it.
Yeah. No, that's completely fair. I did want to bring up the Davos conversation really quick with Tyrion. I like how Davos says he's like, "We fight and we win for the Lord of Light," and he just fucks off. It's just okay. That's all it was. He came, he
Way to
saw,
go.
came again. It's I like that. Yeah, because that's pretty much the summation of any holy war that you ever see. It's I'm doing this for God. Okay, you succeeded. Yay.
Now what?
We go to mass.
Now we go have crackers and wine. I also thought his kind of recollection of Mel going out the way she did was interesting. You know, he's kind of basically just puts it out. Yeah, I didn't really get the chance to execute her. She just kind of died of natural causes, right when she was supposed to, I guess. Like I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Abby?
I just think that he's very disappointed that like there's no reasoning, there's no justice. He has been like somebody has taken the justice out of his hands, and that doesn't sit well with him. So one, he didn't get to deliver the justice that he not just he thought like was deserved.
hmm
Um but then so she dies, she comes back and she or like shows up and saves everything and then just leaves, and in his words, we win this war for him, and then like what the fuck now? He has just the age old question, what does this god want? Or I mean, he can ponder it forever, or he can just stay with the, your god is evil. But I'm sure that's hard now when she did, I mean, very much save them from the undead. I don't know. I think he's just very confused and conflicted
Yeah, I mean, all he's
and
done is live
angry.
to a ripe old age.
Right. Oh, and I think he's angry that he was like the justice was taken away from him. He doesn't feel like what she got, her dying on her own accord, is fair.
hmm Yeah, she got to play that song, anthem of her dying day, and he was not a fan.
No.
No,
Not cool.
nope.
You burn children,
Good
you're
band, though.
done.
Really good band.
I
Any
believe
other
you.
thoughts here? I do like that Tormund gives some props to Danny. Like that's good on him for recognizing, the Dragon Queen. She kind of does that and passes the torch as well, like to off to Arya, who Glenn very accurately said, she's not there. We'll get more into this feast scene here in a little bit on some of these interactions. Let's go ahead and move on to that next part of the feast, Benj.
Yeah, so this kind of goes to my note on the first part, but Tormund is impressed with Jon's dragon handling. Danny is not so happy about the convo and takes her leave. Tyrion takes the drinking game a bit too far, and Brienne burns out with Jaime in tow, much to the displeasure of Tormund, who turns his attention to a serving girl. San have a nice conversation.
Abby, I was going to go to you first, but yours kind of comes a little bit later on in the scene, so I'm going to Go ahead.
I have a thought. I thought it was just it's going back to last scene. It was my last thing I wanted to say about it because I thought it was in this one. But she gives the lordship to Gendry.
hmm
Mhm.
And she's like, "You're not the only one who's clever."
Yeah.
And Sansa's fucking look. Oh man. You don't say that shit. She heard you. You're sitting 2 feet away from her. Supersonic ears.
Why should she be so upset about that, though?
Yeah,
Because
shoot.
it's not genuine. It's not like I think he deserves this. This is I'm gonna
It's
get an ally.
it's politicking.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
and
like
kids can
politics.
appreciate
I like
that.
John. That's why I like Arya. That's why I like Davos and Tormund. I don't like that shit.
hmm
Like, mm-mm. Say what you mean. Anyways, go ahead with the scene, Luke.
All right, Glenny, what do you got here?
Sure. Danny looks very uncomfortable here, I think. Knowing what she knows now, tungsten tides appear to be turning. Everyone's kind of admiring John when it used to be everyone admired Danny.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also he kind of looks around. Tyrion's over there playing drinking games, and it seems like good for him for having drinking buddies now.
Right.
Because he hasn't had that in a long time. Because
he tried.
He tried, but couldn't find the good gang, I guess. But yeah, everyone would be admiring Danny and sucking her dick and stuff like that. And now like she doesn't have some of her advisors or kind of off doing whatever they're doing. Obviously, Jorah Mormont's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Who would kind of be up her ass. So
she's feeling a little left out.
That's what it seems like, yeah.
Yeah, I very much agree, and I really look at this being John's fault for even letting that be a thing here. Because he's looking around and he knows that he's getting all this praise, and he doesn't love it. He's just hanging out with the guys, right? I mean, that's what it looks like. His Sansa's there. He's hanging out with Tormund. they're shooting the shit or whatever. But he looks over and he sees her, and she gives him the smile or whatever, and he doesn't see what she sees. You know, he's missing that because he's drinking a little bit too much. Maybe, I don't know. They don't really show much, but I think that's part of what's going on. And if he would just look over and realize she's not having a good time, like this is not good for the overall game plan that we have going, whatever that is nowadays. Bring her in, like bring her over into this conversation. Quit having your back to her. And guess what? This isn't going to go badly for everyone in that relationship. I really think John
Tormund,
fucks up here.
I I think Tormund's like one comment. Like if you're gonna have like a real fallout argument as a relationship about this, he'll be like, "But they praised you like one time. Tormund even said to the Dragon Queen." This is the argument in my head, and she's like, "Bitch, then for 9 hours you were out there drinking and everybody was sucking your dick while I just sat back here and you just let it happen." So I see exactly what you mean. This always happens. Always.
Usually
When
when you're
you
at your in-laws and
when you
they're all having a good time and you're the ones.
yes, when you are or when you are drunker than your significant other, the truth comes out and feelings get hurt and fights start. Every time. You should always be equally drunk.
This is true. And here's the thing, this
Driving.
doesn't happen often. I do agree with you, Luke, that most of this could have been resolved with John, yeah, just turning his head and kind of reading the room, reading the scene a little bit. I do think Danny was getting a little butthurt because of what Tormund was saying, because she knows it's true to a point of she sees the writing on the wall of how they're following him and everything like that. So she's feeling insecure. She's feeling just out, just overwhelmed with the possibility of losing what she thinks is her rightful claim. So it's kind of everything hitting her at once and all that. So I mean, but I do agree with you. It could have easily been resolved with John, kind of turning it.
I
Uh,
won't say it's just his fault though. Like we have to put like
oh, she does no. Here's the thing.
she
I
doesn't
don't agree with her mentality. I think she's in the wrong for feeling the way she's feeling.
but he could have easily
He could have
mitigated the situation
exactly,
with
and
just
that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but Tormund kind of calls it out. You either have to be a madman or a king. Well, two people rode the dragons. Could have been one of each. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Whenever Corbin really starts praising the dragon writing,
Yeah.
John should have been like, she's been doing this for like years. Like,
I'm still a
Yeah.
novice.
right. I mean, she is expert
Isn't it
dragon writer. I'm
dragon?
level 1 dragon writer. Like, it's just he needs to see that it's too much. It's too thick, and it doesn't look good for her. Who he is the only one in the room that bent his knee to her. That's pretty
Right.
much it. He needs to see that this doesn't look good for her,
Exactly.
and that's about that.
So I'm good.
Go for it, Ben.
Move on
Yeah.
to the next part of it, talking about the drinking or the drinking game with Tyrion and Brienne and Jamie. That was too far, dude.
What
Because
an asshole.
well, she's known as the Maid of Tarth. It's a known thing. That's like that's just a fucking known thing. That's a low blow. Yeah, you're trying to be cute and clever and everything like that, but there's a difference between, I don't know, her calling you on being married than, you know, you calling her out and being a virgin. That's fucked. I did like the line that came up afterwards. I'm calling it the line of the night for me. Now, which one of you cowards shit my pants?
Yeah, that was
we,
pretty
we,
funny.
we killed the dead. Now, which one of you cowards shit my pants?
Oh.
And then later on, once Jamie and Brienne scurries off, and Jamie follows after, and Tormund going through the 7 stages of alcoholism in one night. First he is the jovial over talker, party guy. Then he goes into the horny guy. Then it's the grief. Then it's the acceptance. Then it's the horny guy again, which is basically the 7 stages of drunk. And he hit them all within 10 minutes. So, but anyone else catch Pod scoring a threesome off of that during that whole thing?
Nope.
I know
Literally,
he was
as
smiling at the one
as
girl.
Brienne and Jamie wander off, Tyrion gets up, pours his drink in Tormund's glass, and Pod smiles at him. He turns around, sees one girl. They smile and nod. Then a few minutes later, the girl that hits on Sandor, he waves her off, and as Sansa's sitting down, she goes walking up to Pod, and he's got the other girl in one arm, and he puts the arm around there, and they go walking off
Well,
together. Yeah, there's a picture. I got the picture in there during the sand scene. I made
I'm-
sure to include that.
Where I'm at right now was during this scene, I was like, holy shit, Podrick Payne, Ellen Payne, her fucking
Wow.
nephew. I can't believe I didn't realize that before.
It's like second
where I'm
cousin.
That- I'm pretty
That-
sure he says nephew because I just listened to it in Storm of Swords.
Okay, gotcha.
That's
I know.
I heard it earlier in the day, and I was like, "How have I never even?" But we only call him Pod. I've never
Yeah.
called him anything else.
Yeah. So you heard the story of why he basically became Tyrion's
Squire.
fucking squire. Did you get
Regular
to that part?
squire, too.
Yeah. Okay, so I won't spoil it for you then because
I don't know
you're
if
not
I did or
there.
not, but I just
Yeah, I think that's in Feast anyway. I think he tells Brienne that. So anyway,
I thought it was pretty funny how like they just show Tormund and he's like kind of crying about the whole situation,
Completely heartbroken.
and it just seems like he's talking to some random girl or something like that. It ends up being Sandor Clegane. He's like, what do you think about that, Clegane? He's like, don't fucking touch me.
Don't fucking touch me.
and did you guys watch it with the captions on?
Yes.
Did you see the name of the girl that said "I'm not afraid of
Wyla?
wildlings"? Wyla.
Yep. I
Yeah.
noticed that. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a thing. This is odd.
Yeah,
This is an
I
odd
know.
placement. But yeah, like so then we kind of have the other girl walk up after Tormund leaves with that girl that walks up, and she's like, I'm not afraid of wildlings. And he goes, maybe you should be. His tune totally changes. He's just like, oh, I'm back into the party. Ready? Let's go again. Like, which is why it shouldn't really work out with Brienne and Tormund in the long run, because I don't think his heart would be what it needs to be for her. But they'd have fun. But he goes off. Another girl walks up to Sandor, and because he's like, I have to finish my drink or whatever. And she comes to sit down. He finishes the cup or whatever. And she's like, are you ready now? He pulls the whole fucking vat over, and he's like, this is my drink. And he growls at her like a fucking dog.
all right, enough. Whatever it is.
Fuck off.
Fuck off. So then she kind of pisses off, I guess, over to Pod. And Sansa sits down. Abby, I'm going to come to you here.
So I literally, this is happening. I realize it's gonna happen, and I have butterflies in my stomach because I'm so excited until the words "heard you been broken in." Are you fucking serious? Like, this is the second time in this episode. We're like a good
I think they were serious.
6 minutes in, and I've already been like, you're a fucking asshole more than once. Like, that was the terminology that needed to be used. Ugh,
Icebreaker.
annoyed.
It's icebreaker. What
And
a
then,
pickup line.
And
oh,
I
looks
get
like you've been broken in.
Andor, and he like kind of uses this as his walls. He puts up these walls, and Sansa doesn't take the bait. I
Mhm.
get it.
Yeah, that is exactly what's going on.
Let me
too.
ask Abby really quick, which is worse? So I heard you got broken in, not in a good way, but you were broken in, or you were so beautiful that night.
This right here. I never thought Bran's thing was creepy at all. I thought it was an acknowledgement that she's a beautiful woman who went through a terrible situation. I didn't think it was creepy at all. I never had a problem with it, but that's just me. So, but okay, I'm getting over it. Like, and then she goes on to be like, without all that, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I've read some people who are really offended by this line. Like, oh, if I wasn't raped and tortured, and I wouldn't be I wouldn't be a strong person. And they're offended because, like, how dare you say that? But I also think that this shows that she's not a victim, that she's taken her circumstance and what has happened and has made herself her own champion. So I'm not necessarily offended by that part of it. I know there are people out there who are. I was just offended by the broken in. Are you fucking serious?
The broken man, broken in.
And I really think you were pretty correct on, yeah, that is his defense mechanism, because this is somebody that's been emotionally closer to him than he's comfortable with, and that's
Right.
happened before. And I think the way she responds of it doesn't phase her. She's not the little bird. Like, she basically says, if these things didn't happen to me, I would still be the little bird forever. And I think he really respects that it sucks that she went through it that way, but the things that she learned from it, I think he sees just in this little conversation because they haven't talked to each other since the fucking battle where he was what they were talking about.
Blackwater.
And I don't know. I think he gained she got a lot of respect from him in this scene here that he was surprised by.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm
And I
not
think
really
that
a
touch
hard
meant
one.
a lot more to him even
Oh
than it meant
yeah.
to her. Like,
But I think she knew that.
no,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah. And I'm saying it. I shouldn't say that it meant to her. I think it meant the world to him. Kind of the same thing as the Jorah Sam handshake, kind of thing back after he
Yeah.
had grayscale.
Or even him saying to her like, "You're looking at me."
Yeah,
I and she can see him. She sees who he is. She sees through this rough, terrible exterior that's going to insult her and say things that want to push her away, and she just doesn't have it. And that's like I wouldn't call it necessarily love at this point. I'm not saying hey they're getting
No,
together,
it is.
but
They are.
it is
I
not going to be Sansan. I'm calling that
I
now.
have wanted Sansan since he asked her to leave with him, but I'm not saying this is proof. But there is some type of relationship and love that he gets from her that he doesn't from others, and Arya gives it to him too.
Mm-hmm.
Not romantically,
Yeah.
but
There's a
yeah.
companionship that only they've been able to get to with him.
Yep.
Anything else in here? Nope. All right, Benj. Next scene.
All right, so we got 3 quickish scenes all kind of combined together. We got Gendry finds Arya celebrating and offers her a ladyship and she turns it down. Jamie finds Brienne in her chambers and gets a bit warm for his shirt or hers. Danny finds John in their chambers and begs him not to spill the beans.
Abby, I'm going to you first.
Oh god. I just think it's a shame that Gendry doesn't quite yet understand Arya enough. That's all. Because everybody else has, well, somebody else has notes on this, but it wasn't a "you're not good enough to marry" or "I don't even love you." It's just she's never going to be a lady. We all know this. It's just a shame that he didn't think of that at the time.
Lenny?
Yeah, so to go along with that, like Gendry just comes up with this very romantic proposal. And, no, actually, it was very rushed and like just extremely to the point. Instead of like I don't know, taking your time to, like Abby said, get to know Arya more and hang out with her more. Even though I mean, I guess she wasn't at the banquet, and you wanted to hang out with her there, but she wasn't there, and then you got, you know.
And we do.
But it was almost like he was begging for Arya, to be by his side. But then we go to the next scene, and then Jam is kind of begging to get in the sack with Bree, and then Danny begs John, not to tell. I think the common theme of this stretch of scenes is beggars can't be choosers. No,
Beggars are losers for sure.
Well, one beggar won.
You say 50-50 in this, right?
Well,
yeah, but he didn't.
one third.
All
He
right.
didn't get to
one third.
choose.
I'm jumping with a Brienne Jamie scene here. Got it.
Yeah. But Jamie doesn't really beg. He just kind of implies, and then it's the implication.
I mean, she's DTF. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah,
At this point, no.
yeah.
I thought the Gendry doing what he does is the cheesiest fucking thing I've ever seen on this
Also
show.
knows you're beautiful.
It was fucking awful. I thought right when he walks over there, and I'm like, oh, he just got his lordship, and he's like so jazzed to fucking see her. I'm like,
This is
Glenn and I
going
were watching it.
down.
I literally said out loud, "That's not me." And then
Yep.
40 seconds later, she's like, "That's not me." I was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me." Let's go ahead and make sure we hit all of the one-liners in these past 2 episodes that she's ever fucking had.
The callbacks.
I was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me right
Recycle
now."
the scripts.
My only
Like,
rebuttal to this, my only rebuttal would be that I absolutely knew, like, as soon as he started, I was like, that's not me. Like, she's not gonna do it. However,
Piss
So dumb.
poor at best.
it's always nice to be asked. Like, even if she doesn't want to be a lady, even if she doesn't want to be a wife, to be desired, because obviously she finds Gendry attractive and is attracted to men. So having that type of attention and like validating, like, hey, yes, you are like marriage material. You are somebody people lust after. There's a validating factor in it. So even if it's a no from her,
I have
there's
no
still a
problem
part of
with what she did. The
yeah,
fact that the
no.
very first fucking thing he does is
Is
sprint up,
well, that's
almost gets
because
shot
you
with an
are
arrow, and it's
completely
like, oh my god, I don't know, I don't even know what to be, what a lord means.
I can't
you
even
know?
use a fork.
I can't even use a fork. It was fucking cheese.
okay, because that's because you are so highly logical. And you realize like your feelings can't always be
I
like
don't
the
know what
number one
feelings are,
driving.
so
Exactly. You are good at this. That's why you are a great adult. For us that aren't great adults, like having those feelings and just uh go where the wind blows you moments. It happens, okay? It happens to the best of us.
I
It's
let's talk about Jamie again.
Well,
Shane, you an
Ben, you got
asshole.
anything on Gendry?
yeah, I just one thing in my first note was, yeah, that's not me. It sticks out, and like you said, Luke, as soon as the scene came up and he started talking, I'm like, yep, that's not me. You know, I'm
That
same
ain't me.
feeling. I was happy with the callbacks last episode because the whole build was the Arya remembrance. We're done with that now, kind of thing. So I do absolutely agree with you on that. I had an issue with him being called Gendry Rivers. He is not from the Riverlands. He was not born of a Riverland mother. He was born in King's Landing. He should be Gendry Waters. It's a small detail, but it's a fucking detail that matters, you know. And he's like, I'm not Gendry Rivers anymore. I'm Gendry Baratheon.
Especially
No,
with
you were, but you were never Gendry Rivers. You were Gendry fucking Waters.
how blatantly they've never said Gendry Rivers. Like
Yeah.
they've never fucking mentioned that in the show before. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, let's be really specific. He's got a bastard name. And then they give you the wrong bastard name.
Yeah, but maybe he was
just-
told the wrong one at birth or something like that.
It's true.
Yeah, as a
Yeah,
young chap.
It-
Hey,
it
Rivers,
really-
get over here. Let's make fun of him and call him the wrong bastard name.
Those fucking flea bottomers. They're
So,
ruthless.
that's my like that stuck out to me when he said that. I'm like, wait, that's not right. Because like I even thought, I'm like, River, he was born in King's Landing. That's and like I had to look it up. I'm like, King's Landings aren't the river, they're the waters, and you know I had to do my
There
research
is
on
water
it for that one
in
fucking note.
rivers, though.
Damn you, D&D.
Somebody had mentioned that earlier in the chat too.
Oh, did they? I didn't.
They did. No, I didn't respond because I had already seen your note. So I was
Oh.
like, I don't really understand what's going on here, but cool. And Benji will get on it. So.
Oh yeah, and we did miss the biggest thing from the feast.
Yeah, I
just
was
thought
going back
Phil-
to see if we had a picture of it. I don't think we do.
I don't think I didn't.
What happened, Phil?
So in the scene where Daenerys is making this face, looking on at Jon, being like, "Hey, include me," or I can see all of this shit washing away because people are focused on you. On the table, in front of the Queen Daenerys, is a Starbucks cup.
Terrence had put that on our Slack thing, and I was like, I don't get it.
Yeah,
Like, I don't.
it's funny because I also saw someone that was saying like, oh, the cinematographer got so much shit for how dark last episode was that they were able to like, well, it was light enough the next one to see
I'm
the
looking.
Starbucks cup.
Where
Abby,
is it at?
yeah, it's right in front of her. It's like right where her right hand would be.
That's a Starbucks.
It's a Starbucks
It's
cup.
a coffee cup. Well, it's
It's-
definitely a styrofoam plastic topped coffee cup. We're assuming
Oh.
it would be a Starbucks cup, but it's very
Maybe a
similar
Dunkin'
to
Donuts.
that brand's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It could be
Terrence,
a
sorry
Tim
for not
Hortons-
responding, but I had nothing to say because I'm like, I don't see what's going on here.
It's
but
one of the
okay.
bigger
What's the problem?
gaffes that they've missed.
Yeah.
They're usually really good about that, and maybe it's a plot point. Maybe
I
they're gonna
don't-
bring it up. Bran
With
went
brands time traveling.
right. He went out there, got himself a coffee, gave it to Daenerys.
Yeah, this is what they have.
If
in Huge.
anybody's wondering, white peppermint mocha
that is
is the shit.
absolutely Daenerys Targaryen.
I was thinking it was Arya's
Yeah.
cup, and it would be a black and white.
Black and tall.
So, all right, we want to move on to the Jamie and Brienne
Jamie and
section. Anybody
Brienne.
got anything for that? I really don't. It was cute, fitting, finally. Okay.
I didn't like
No.
it. I don't like that he showed up drunk. I think that completely counteracts any emotional aspect of it from his side, and she should have seen that. I mean, like, not like this.
But she was drunk too.
That's
I
fine.
have something to say about this.
Jim never has a second cup of coffee. at home.
She That's a really nice looking bruise on her shoulder.
Oh yeah,
Real good looking bruise. I love bruises. Ask Bailey.
I know.
I love a good looking bruise. That's what I noticed from this scene.
Lenny, you got anything else other than your?
The point that I made already.
Yeah, you kind of already blew your load on it. So we'll move on to the next part of the scene with old drunk John and D Queen Daenerys showing up. Lenny, what are your thoughts on this little interaction?
This is the next one or what?
It's in the same.
It's the same realm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, in my note, Danny kind of begs John here, and it just kind of carries over from the big old feast. Of you can see her be uncomfortable, and kind of jelly, and then it just kind of pours over here, and she kind of says something like, if you would have never told me, I'd be happy right now. And it's just kind of weird. I was just kind of begging for him not to. You can't say anything, even though it's your fucking thing or whatever. And think about it, just like something you've been wondering your whole life, a big secret like this, and now, oh, by the way, you can't tell anybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna overall say I don't like Danny in this scene. She's also very correct on what she's saying. Like, she's absolutely right. If this information gets out, like, it's all up. I mean, even if he says whatever he wants to say, of I don't want the throne. There are gonna be fucking wars, civil wars. It's not gonna work out. It's only gonna create more bloodshed, and she will lose. Like, that's just what it is. Dragon or not, he is clearly like the fan favorite, of the realm. People chose to go behind him. The people that chose to go with her are either still in Essos or have basically died a lot.
Perished.
They have been liquidated. I very much am with you, Glenn, that she's trying to say that the say nothing option is always an option. I don't know if that's a good option.
Well, at the same time, so Samuel Tarly had a good line a couple episodes back when he's like, you gave up your seat at the throne. Would she do the same thing? And I think clearly she doesn't want to do that. So if it's John, like, you can see her true colors. Not saying like, I need to do anything rash or anything like that, but you definitely see where her intentions are, and like, she just kind of selfish, if you will.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Ab?
So this whole thing right here, I will say it starts off way better than any other kiss we've seen between them before.
I agree. Yeah.
It's a believable kiss. Like that good. And I think the key was like turning them around so you only had like side face. Instead of like, oh, kissing my grandma, this is weird.
Kissing my grandma.
Yeah.
Or my aunt,
Oh, hold on, wait. That was gonna be. I just ruined my own joke.
Whoops.
But that's
Oh,
okay.
I'm sorry, Ab.
But
No, you didn't do it. I did it with the grandma thing.
It was still funny, Ab. Good joke.
Grandma.
And then
Grandma.
they both kind of pull away, like, "Oh shit, you're my aunt." But I'm just over this. Like, I don't like Danny here. This is not where you take. This is not like a power move. This is
Desperation.
yes, and I don't. Desperation has always been a very clear sign that your end is soon. And I don't want Danny to end. She has always had like good intentions. I just feel like here we go again. She's unraveling, or
Looks like she's about to spit on him. That's what I think of you, John. So.
The picture. I'll minimize the chat real quick so you can see it a little bit better. It looks like she's getting ready to spit on him.
You will not tell anyone.
This is what I think of you telling somebody.
Yeah.
Chewy.
It's just not coming from like somebody who has the power. It's just weak. Like, and I don't like that. So make a power move, or do the whole whatever happens, like I stand behind my effort that I've given. I'm proud in what I have done and I have accomplished. And no matter who is king or what happens from here out, nobody can take my accomplishments away. And this is like, you're gonna take what's mine. I don't like it. It drives me nuts.
Wow.
Hey,
Okay,
Benj, how much do you love it?
so really, y'all just wiped out my whole note section, which
Sorry,
is
Benj.
no, which is fine because they'll make you take what's mine. Can you say, hello, jelly, please? Yes, we got a girl over here. She's a bit jelly, you know. She, she run a little loose.
I
But
feel like we've all become Benji this episode.
yeah, a little bit. And I was half expecting it. I was also half expecting a good fight. Like, oh no, I'm coming in with this guns
Oh,
ablazing.
no.
But yeah, it's like shit. You guys kind of already are following line on this. I've been saying this for a while, but yeah, it's funny how she goes from turning the waterworks on. Don't make me beg. I've never had to beg. Blah, blah, blah. And
I
he's
don't
like,
know if she's got waterworks on. She definitely is begging though. Like,
oh, her face is all squinched, and you know she's trying to
On
get
the
the
verge of
waterworks
tears.
going, on the verge of tears.
that's
Yeah,
rude.
two straight cold-hearted. Huh? What? You know,
It's the
because
ultimate.
it was all an act. It was an act. It was a I'm gonna beg you. I'm gonna play the water. I'm gonna play the damsel. I'm gonna
I
play the
don't know if that's how
please.
it is. No,
That's exactly
I
how it is.
no,
Because
I don't know if that's how.
she's being threatened. She's not even
No,
trying to threaten her, but she sees she's being threatened, and she has to play every card that she has.
I fundamentally don't think that she is doing this as a
no,
bit or anything. I think these are emotions that are occurring to her at the time.
I feel like you think that when the waterworks turn on and they turn off, like the waterworks girls, like right, we're fighting with you and we got the waterworks on and all of a sudden it changes. Well, that the waterworks were just an act. No, it's because no matter how sad we are, that's not like getting through. And we have just realized that our sadness makes no fucking difference. And now we're just fucking pissed off. And I
Yeah,
can go
you're
from
using your
happy.
using your sadness as a weapon to get what
That's
you want.
not
It's
like
still,
that's
you know,
fighting, that's arguing. Like that's I just don't think it's some big she is manipulative. She is trying to get what she wants here. Not even manipulative because these are all words we like to use in connotation with women. Manipulative, bossy, whining,
Glenny.
crying, glenning, those types of things.
Glendening.
Glendenning.
She's politicking, right?
Glenfiddich.
She's trying to play to his sympathies. She's doing her best and it's not working. So fine. My trying to be as honest and like what is the word? Like open and vulnerable is the word I mean with you is not working. So now I have to bring the bitch out or the fire out or whatever word you want to use. I don't necessarily think it's her just playing the crying girl card to get out of a ticket. I
and
don't really think
that's
that's
fair. I mean, I do understand emotion. I understand the fluctuation and how it can go from
oh my
one to
god. I
another.
just had a
But
huge Luke moment. But do you? That's all.
I was
No,
gonna pull the
to
the
to the
emotional
guy who, in
capacity of a
fairness, has been
teaspoon.
married longer than anybody in this conversation.
I
Yes,
see, but it was
yes,
only because
That's
I thought Luke was gonna say
unemotional.
it.
but yes.
Sorry.
So I mean, I do get it and I do understand, but at the same time, we saw this building at the feast. We saw this every comment made. This is her getting, like I said, butthurt about what she's perceiving. She's not perceiving wrong, as Luke said. She's not incorrect about any of this. It's just unfortunate. Sorry, you're not the right one. You're not the chosen one, and you're gonna have to deal with that. So that's all I'm kind of going with. So
Panicked. I mean, she's out of cards here at this point in her. She's desperate.
She's really
Desperation
almost
has set in.
yeah,
isolated too.
or
She's lost all of her biggest
yeah.
supporters.
Who's there?
I mean,
It's John. Like,
yeah. Glenny, what do you think? Anything else on the way she's
Not
acting
really.
here?
I think we're all hitting on the hammer and stuff like that. Like the only thing she could do is make sure that he just perishes somehow, and then she's back in front. But
And then I'm back in the game.
at the same time, like you just said, he's one of her only friends now. I think so. It's like almost you got to kind of keep that alliance because you know, if he's gone, then who else after all the people around her just seem to be perishing one right after the other. So
It's
Yep.
kind of like the Kentucky Derby. You got to stay in your lane, or you
stay
get
in your lane,
disqualified.
Gertie.
Gertie, stay in your lane.
Your lane, or you get disqualified and you don't win.
So
I
we'll
was
have.
real upset we couldn't do a stream last night because I had my hat on and everything. I was
Oh,
ready.
you were derbied out.
I was Derby Day, baby.
So we'll have more to talk about Danny for the rest of the
Derby
episode, I'm sure. So let's move on to our next scene, where we have Jon, Danny, Tyrion, Missandei, Grey Worm, Varys, Sansa, and Arya. Benj, what happened?
Yeah, so the discussion of their losses and Cersei's strengths, a plan of attack is made with some recommendations being ignored.
Okay, Benj, kick us off here.
Yeah, so it's a sound plan. She really should give them time to rest and recoup. But we only have 2 episodes left, so there's no time. I get it for plot reasonings. Hey, we don't have time. We have to go on and do this because we only have 2 fucking episodes left. We gotta get this done. But Sansa's idea or recommendation of, hey, let's give it a couple weeks to recoup. That's even your men that need the time. And Danny just say, from a storyline standpoint, it doesn't make sense. She's like, well, they're plotting against us and this and that. You know, yes, they are. They've been doing that. So there's not much gonna, yes, they're gonna keep adding to it, but that's not gonna change kind of thing. It's your men need time to recover. You know, they just literally fought an endless night for a night, but an endless war kind of thing that they just had to, but you want to just march them right off 2 days later, 3 days later. It's like that. That's pretty cold hearted yet again.
Abby.
Well, I agreed with your comment, so I'll just steal it here. Sansa with some sound advice. I mean, let him rest.
Mm-hmm.
And then just blatant, nah.
Right. I think I made the Oregon Trail parallel earlier
sure
with
did.
somebody comes down with cholera or something like that, and if you keep going at the same pace, they're gonna perish. But if you stop and rest for like 9 days, they're gonna get back to health
And maybe not perish.
Not perish.
I mean, you could like leave them behind in Illinois, and then you could have a farm in your family 200 years later.
Amzai Doolittle.
Heck yeah! Whoop whoop!
That's our Lamb the Clever.
I just feel like last time Sansa said pretty much the same thing. We're not ready for this fight. They weren't ready for this fight. Battle of the Bastards. They weren't ready. I get that we have arguments about should she have said about the Knights of the Vale, should she not? I don't think she's doing this to undermine Danny here. I think she realizes as soon as she says it, well, this is going to go over like a fart in church, it's going to be real good. But
How many times have we talked
I'm
about
looking at you.
This has
church
been
or mass or whatever?
the most church heavy drinks and nose episode ever.
Yeah,
I love
boy.
it. Amen.
But it's just sound advice. Let your troops rest. And she just doesn't take it.
Hallelujah.
I do have a question. In the room, we have Missandei, Danny, Varys, Jon, Davos, Tyrion, Brienne, Sansa, Arya, Bran, some other guy
Grey
who's
Worm.
kind of standing behind. No, Grey Worm's in here. Sorry, but standing behind kind of Tyrion. He's like in the back. He's like shoved in a corner.
John?
That'd be Bronze Royce.
It could be because as soon as you've mentioned
The guy
that
back
name,
here?
I was like,
Yeah,
it
I
could
can't
have.
tell in these pictures at
Next
least.
to Grey Worm?
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, he's kind of in between Grey Worm, I think,
That's
and
Danny.
maybe
Yeah, I did kind of
him?
limit these photos on this one because I didn't want to be called out for having too many pictures of random stuff. So,
So you got 3 Dannys in a row.
do I?
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
I can't have too many pictures.
They're all different
He
faces, though.
says a shit ton of Danny.
It's the smirk. You got the concern. I'm looking at them now. 61's the concerned. 62 is the really bitch, and 63 is you think you're so clever. So, and 64. Yeah, sorry. Hey, I didn't edit these that great. Shit.
all right. Yeah, I think Sansa's being
It's kind of rushed.
pretty reasonable about her. You know, everyone probably needs some rest. It's a really smart choice. I don't think she's meaning it as a
Take a nappy.
Yeah, I don't think she's meaning it as an undercut of Dany at all.
We're gonna you over.
You know, and then she farts in church, and clearly she realizes, oh, okay, we'll see how Dany reacts to this. I guess I think it was at that point that she was like, okay, let's play this off as if it was a calculated thing, I guess. But but I don't know. We get a little bit of the kind of logistics here, right? We see that half the Unsullied are gone, pretty much half the Northern men are gone. There are still some Dothraki, apparently. They talk about that at one point. It might
And
be later
apparently,
on.
call back to my last night's stream with AK. They're riding down with John, which makes very much sense. Because at the end, I'm like, why didn't fucking that's all the army has? And kind of going into it later, I'm like, oh yeah, they're riding down with John.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
taking the
forgot
King's
they
Road.
mentioned that. So
Yep. So this is just hey, this is where we're gonna start moving some pieces around. Not a whole lot else that I can remember from watching this.
It was basically the battle plan of how to take King's Landing. They're gonna starve them out, make them known that hey, Cersei is we're gonna give him a chance. I want Cersei to be the bad guy again. Sound plan. Make the people turn on her and give her the option to leave.
But I mean, I'm gonna kind of pull back a little bit. I do think Dany makes a good point of we have to strike. We have to do something. I do think she should hold off, but because another thing that she says is the longer I wait, the stronger my enemy gets. I don't know if that's true. I don't know what other reinforcements are coming in for them right now, right? I mean,
that was my that was the point I was
Dragonstone,
making.
Right the fuck next to King's Landing, next
Pretty
to the
much.
greatest navy that is there. Like they have the biggest navy. So let's go on the water.
I think it's more time to prepare. That's all I think she's saying. By more powerful doesn't mean she gain allies here and there, but I think it's more of they're gonna think of other things outside the box that could potentially take down a dragoon or something like that, or kind of liquidate them, if you will. I think
maybe
this
make them all
is
perish.
Your classic catch-22 situation. Wait and rest, and Cersei's forces could be more powerful, or march to war and risk being pulverized due to lack of sleep.
I'm tired.
I
got
can't
pulverized
fight anymore.
Yeah, I think maybe we're all in agreement overall that waiting a couple days, not a terrible idea. Concur?
Sleep off the hangovers.
Yeah. Take some Tylenol at least.
Be
all right.
fresh when the next fight comes.
Yep.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's talk about Jon, Sansa, Arya, and Bran.
So Jon defends his queen to the Starks and lets his sisters in on the secret.
Yeah, this was really one of those. All right, everyone, get out your notebooks. We need to have a family dialogue. We've got some things to talk about.
That's an inside drink on that one, but I love it. I hadn't read your note, and I saw Abby's. I saw laugh out loud, pointing to yours, and I read yours. I'm like, oh, that's fucking hilarious.
But can I draw pictures still?
Can I just draw pictures?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Let me draw a picture about how I feel, Mom, please. God.
So, Abby, what was your thought here?
The
one that you have written there specifically.
LOL.
I'm kidding.
I think that's a greater than sign. Dash.
Less than.
Well, yeah, I don't know that shit. I would still feel like first grade math greater than less than.
I think it's an arrow. You can say it's an arrow.
An arrow pointing that way to Luke's comment. LOL. I think Arya would be a really good negotiator. Very good.
Both sides.
She has a very broad view with sound reasoning, like good morals behind it, but can appreciate situations for what they are in their totality instead of just a very narrow visioned getting what she wants or a certain outcome. I think Arya would be a very, very good negotiator or politician, just like I think Jon is the best politician in this story.
So, Glenn, do you think Arya has a broad view, or is she just some broad? Don't worry about it.
Broad is a disgusting word.
What would you rather have him say, broad or you're broken in?
broad. You
Let's
can
see.
even call me a pigeon-toed broad at that point.
Broad. Broad
Pigeon-toed broad.
Pigeon-toed broad, Vance.
is like the kid that
Before you
doesn't
call
fart in
me-
church.
Broken in. Oh man. Mm-mm.
So what do you think of this scene, Lenny?
So this is your classic famous last words. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell a soul.
Yeah.
Like you just know, like, yeah, we'll keep our word.
I-
Lots of people.
Cause I'm
Don't.
a liar. I promise. But yeah, it's a good, like, hey, you know.
Yeah, this is John Toria's secret we're talking about here.
John Torres' secret. That'd have been a good episode title.
Yeah, it would have been.
Benj, what do you think?
Missed
I really didn't
opportunities.
have much for this scene. I liked how Arya was like, "Here's the thing, we like you, your family. We don't trust your Dragon Queen. It's not we don't like her. We don't trust her. We don't know her. We see through her shit." Kind of thing. And I love how she was trying to be the diplomatic one in this conversation compared to Sansa and John and everything. Yes, yes, Luke, you're making my pictures dance. But you know, she was actually trying to say, "We're listening. We're willing to work with you, but you got to work with us. You got to see our point of view." And John's a little everybody's too stubborn in this goddamn episode just to open up their eyes, and I will say that flat out, to open up their eyes to actually what's going on. But John is a little too stubborn to realize, hey, maybe they might have a point because he's blinded by love, by lust, by whatever,
The light.
and by the light. Exactly, blinded by
Wrapped
the
up like a douche.
Wrapped
revved up like a douche. in
Wrapped
the
up
movie.
like a douche.
Right.
No, but that's all I had. I mean, fair scene. I liked how John struggled with, does he go with the family? Does he go with the love interest or whatever? And he decides, he's like, and she's like, "Your family, you're our brother." He's like,
What am I?
Right.
They were pretty heavy-handed with the you're still Ned Stark's kid. You're my brother. You're not my bastard brother or
Your half brother.
My half brother. You're my brother. It's like I had the exact same thought. I was like
Speaking of brother, like Bran, I mean, he's just ever since he came down, like he has this like, I don't have any responsibilities. Like I'll be there, I'll be present for everything, and kind of just say like one or two things here and there. But a lot of times, like they don't even ask his opinion, and he doesn't even give his opinion ever. He's just kind of like a waste of space.
who, Bran?
Yeah.
I really thought it was funny where John kind of finally makes the decision in his head. He's like, I need to tell you something. And then he makes him, you have to swear.
You do
You
something.
have to swear. And then he goes, I need to tell you this. Hey, Bran, tell him.
You tell him.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey
and in
Bran,
fairness,
tell him.
he doesn't break anything to Danny. He's not the one that told them.
Oh, no.
He
That
never
is...
promised Danny. That's
Well,
not
he did,
John,
and he
though.
did, you're right. He didn't promise Danny anything. So, but I'm just saying, if Danny says, "You said you
That's
wouldn't tell
why
him,"
with
in
John.
fairness, I didn't tell you anything. And
Oh, God.
secondly, Bran's the one that
That-
told him.
Don't
No,
ever
there's
make that
reason-
justification on anything.
No,
That's so
no,
terrible.
John
By
told
the
her
letter of the law.
my family, like that's my family. I owe it to them, which I don't think he owes that to his family. He owes it to himself. That
Right.
was one of my biggest problems with that whole like conversation was Danny saying like your family or the people or whatever. John owes this to himself. Like for once in his life, could he not be like the bastard or the queen's boyfriend or the queen's husband? Like he deserves this. I think so. I also think Danny deserves to be queen. Maybe. I don't really know, but he deserves it for himself. And I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm drunk, so cool.
Whoops.
And a statement.
I will say about the scene, I didn't like that we didn't get the reactions. I was hoping to see that, the Sansa Arya reaction to the finding out. I was disappointed that we didn't get that
Oh my
up front
God.
reveal
To be
like
f-
we've gotten for everybody else, at least.
To be fair,
To be fun.
I think Danny does say like you need to make sure Bran and Sam kind of don't tell anybody either.
That was the first thing. He's
Make
like,
them
swear them to
swear.
secrecy, and then as soon as he's like, well, I have to tell Arya and Sansa, Danny's like, if you tell Sansa, like I'm fucked. Like I'm fucked, right? I'm fucked.
Can I tell
I'm
Arya then?
I think she probably would okay with that because like who's Arya? She's fucking no one. Like she'd be fine.
I've never even met her.
I don't even know who you're
She's
talking
a
about.
hero. I tried to give her a shout out, but
I gave
she
her
wasn't even
props,
there.
and she wasn't even there for it.
And picture 69.
Picture number 69. There it is.
Any drink.
Any drink. So an interesting scene. We can't really confirm whether he even says anything or if they just suss it out of Bran at some point because it cuts before they actually say anything. So maybe they didn't tell anyone. You know, who knows?
Yeah, if it didn't happen on screen, it never happened.
Right.
That's what Johnson. Well, you told them. No, I didn't. It never happened on
you
screen.
You go back and watch that episode 71. I promise, I didn't say a word. I didn't say anything. Anyway, so enough family dialogue. We good with that, Abby?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
Good.
Okay.
Family dialogue over. Thank
Finally,
the fucking gods.
Put your pens down. Close up your notebooks. Put them in the trash can.
Open up the books.
Call
for help.
Call John Taffer. Let's talk about Davos, John, Tormund. Am I on the right one? Is that the right one? Nope. I skipped
Tyrion. John.
It really jumped on me. John, Sansa, Arya, and Bran. So we just saw about Tyrion, Jaime, and Bronn.
Yeah, the brothers enjoy a quiet drink when they are found by an old acquaintance who wants what is owed to him, and maybe more.
Abby, I'm going to you first on this one.
This is the best Bronn we have seen in a while.
And I'm going to stop you because this is the worst Bronn I've ever seen in my life. I wish he was fucking singing instead of this shit.
Luke, you've
Best
changed
Bronn,
my mind.
worst
I
Bronn.
now agree with you.
Wow.
He should have been singing.
I've changed my mind.
Jackman singing his threats. It would have been awesome. It would have been great.
So Abby, why do you think this is the best Bronn we have seen in a while?
Because I feel like Bronn, when we first met him, was much more like this. He was much more ruthless. He was willing to
Cutthroat,
make a
sellswordy.
deal. Yeah, cutthroat, sellsword. He was willing to make a deal, a good deal, but he was also, I mean, a hired
Highest bidder.
killer. And yeah, exactly. So we've always known that Tyrion's promise is what it has been, and I think people fell in love with this part of Bronn, this like in your face. I won't kill you because it's not exactly right, but you're gonna pay me for it. Whatever this little like dichotomy he has going on, but they loved him so much that the show just kept like, here, let's let him sing. Here, let's put him back for some witty banter is
Witty
what I was
banter.
trying to.
Banty Witter.
Bitty Wanter.
Banty
Witty
Whittaker.
banter. I can't even say it right now, but I just think this is the most Bronn scene we've seen in a long time. I liked it.
I fundamentally think this is not the only time this happens this episode, but there is some character development assassination going on here that I am not for. I really thought Bronn had made a turn, you know, when they're in the Spoilers of War episode, he chooses to go help as opposed to take the money and run. He had that opportunity. I really thought this was going to be I'm choosing loyalty, and that loyalty is to the people, and it just seemed really easy, you know, and he just came in here thwomping everybody. And I don't know, I didn't really like it. I did not like this scene very much.
I think this whole entire episode is filled with assholes, and here's another one.
He's an asshole. Glenn, what do you think?
It's kind of the mediocre Bronn that I've ever seen.
Run of the mill? Can I get a run of the mill?
The run of the mill Bronn. This is classic run of the mill Bronn. No, but I think Bronn is basically one of those guys. You know, he's betting on red and black. You know, playing roulette or something like that. Betting on red and black just to increase his odds of winning. Now, you're not going to win everything. Like, you sacrifice, like, let's say it lands on black. You put the same amount on red, so you're going to lose out on that. It's pretty much the same thing. Whoever wins the war, like, he's just going to gain whatever
yes and no
royalties is from. Oh, well, let me finish.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, just a minute there.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It would just suck if it lands on 0 or 00.
Yes. Fair. And that's a valid point, and I absolutely agree. The only thing is the only way he wins if Cersei wins is if he's the one that kills one of the two brothers or both brothers. I forget if it has to be both or one of the two with the crossbow. So if he lets it play out and they end up winning, but both of them end up dying, It's the 00.
It's the double
Like,
zero.
yeah, it's the 00. He gets
I don't
nothing.
understand what you're talking about. I only play slots.
I
Penny
like
slots.
their slots. They're fun.
Yeah, I
They're
think
fun.
he kind of realized his better bet would be on their side to win because
Yeah,
they're kind of they owe him one, I guess. Like I mean, if Cersei wins, like she could manipulate and just be like, oh well, you didn't do fucking this, so no, you don't get anything. You lose.
You
You
lose
get nothing.
And at least with this, you have a
Jeez.
2-to-1 odds because
Good
you got
day,
2
bro.
Lannisters versus the 1 Lannister, so you got a 2-to-1 odds going for you. So no, absolutely makes sense. I absolutely do agree with you though, Glenn.
Got anything else, Revenge?
Um, I'd like to call out for Land the Clever, as you guys kind of mentioned earlier, where Braun was like, "What's your family's history?" Sure, a couple of hundred years ago, it was some cutthroat that killed enough people to where they started calling him a lord. Then he killed 1,000 people. They start calling you a fucking king. It's like, yeah, that's kind of how families and great houses are made. It's one bastard gets a hair up his ass and makes something of himself, and then generations later, you have the Lannisters, or you have the Starks, or you have the Tyrells. So I like that call out.
Yeah, no, and I think it's pretty true. And then guess what? You just hold on to it. Guess how you hold on to it? By killing more people. Like that's a
Exactly.
lot of times what it turns into, or befriending the right people to kill people for you. Um, yeah, overall, this was definitely a scene in the episode. And that's how I feel about it. It happened.
One of the better Braun scenes we've seen. I think we can all agree on
Do you
that.
think one of the more mediocre Braun scenes?
I honestly think this is actually one of the more memorable ones. I'm not saying it's one of the better ones, but it is one of the more memorable ones
Well, yeah,
because he's finally standing up to the 2 fuckers who toyed him around for 7 seasons.
toyed him around.
They,
Just like him. They had every
Hey.
intent of fucking paying him.
They could have given him Highgarden after he fucking helped take Highgarden. They owed him a castle.
They don't. No.
Jamie did, yeah.
No.
And can we all agree that Highgarden is better than fucking than Riverrun? Highgarden greater than the Reach.
I don't know.
Greater,
Reach greater than the Riverlands.
greater
Sorry,
than or equal to.
Greater than or
Greater
equal
than.
to. I'm gonna go with
Less than or equal to.
non-equivocal. I don't know. I'm gonna equivocate on this and say that
Riverlands are
both would
wet,
be pretty
so.
solid. Reach would be much easier to keep in the long run. Riverrun gets handed back and forth all the fucking time. It's kind of why they call it the crossover lane, flyover country, if you will. So let's go ahead and move on from this piece of shit scene to Arya, Sandor, Dany, some dragons, Tyrion, and Sansa.
This is the best piece of shit scene that we've ever seen.
You know, if you like
with
pieces
Braun
of
in it.
shit, this was one of them.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast.
So the 2 killers want to be alone together. Rhaegal takes a wounded flight. Sansa has some words with her first husband.
Benj, kick us off here.
Yeah, so you're gonna leave me to die if I get hurt again? Props.
Honesty.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I mean, and he appreciated it. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, fair. I probably would too. Well, and oh yeah, so going into the Sansa Tyrion scene of what if there's someone better? Well, that took all about 45 seconds to break that promise. Again, Dany was right. I will give her credit. She was correct. However, it's like, yeah, you had to see that coming because Sansa's not going to keep that. She learned from Littlefinger. She learned from, Peter of information is key. That's how you win the game. And the more information that gets out, the better for me. So, and that's her main concern because she's even now showing, and I'm not a fan of Sansa right now in this scene. I was actually very not troubled, but irked because she was very much playing up the, well, yeah, so John could be warned of the North, so I get nothing. She's, instead of her character build that has been for the betterment of the people, as everything else she's done this whole season has been for the betterment of her northern people. Now she's showing signs of, I want the betterment of me. I want to be Wardeness of the North and Lady of Winterfell and hold all this. And now she's showing jealousy even over John, kind of thing. And I don't know if I'm a fan of that.
Lenny, What are your thoughts on? So we've got a couple different scenes here.
Yeah.
We can talk about Sansa and Tyrion, or some of these quick goodbyes that we get.
So okay, which where are we at?
So we've got
Okay.
Sansa basically spilling the beans to Tyrion about what if there was somebody else, somebody better.
Yeah. So basically, Sansa's a chatty Cathy.
Mm-hmm.
That clear.
Clear.
I mean, she swore that she wouldn't tell anybody. What did she do? Tell somebody. That's why I say last time, famous last words. Don't swear that you're not going to tell anybody. Oh yeah, I swear.
Yeah, a chatty Chillicothe Calico, very Catholic Calico Christian.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
So then, what are the other ones?
Then we have like Tormund and Jon doing their goodbye. Tormund's gonna take the wildlings back north of the wall because
Is this
it's cool.
the dog's dick?
That's coming up next. That's coming up next.
So why do you say it now?
That's where the pictures were. Sansa has. Oh, this is all just.
Yeah, it's two different
this
scenes.
This is
that
all.
You're in the next section. It stops at Sansa Tyrion.
Do we not have any pictures of the dragon trying to fly? Is that what I'm missing in the photos?
There should have been one.
And there's no pictures of Arya and Sandor either.
I probably got distracted as hell.
See?
How
He-
could you?
he
That
had
was the
to-
most beautiful horse we've seen in the entire show series. Sandor's horse. OMG.
Yeah, but we had to have 3 different faces of Danny at one time.
Majestic.
Hey, anybody else want to do screen cap? Be my fucking guest.
Nah,
All right.
you're doing great. You're doing great, Benj.
Don't worry. Next section, we got 2 different pictures of Ghost. Fuck off.
2 ghosts.
So
horse.
we do see Rhaegal kind of trying to get back up in the air, right, and does a little flying. Certainly is looking pretty rough. Again, guess what? Taking about 2 weeks with longer to let the men rest is probably gonna be pretty good for Rhaegal too. Come on, Danny. I really did not expect to dislike Sansa and Danny as much as I do right now. I've been so pro both of them. I am.
If you wait too long, they're gonna get elephants over there.
They're gonna get some elephants.
Just saying.
I don't know. I'm just really surprised with how much I am disliking both of what they're doing right now.
Also have that same feeling. I don't like not liking them.
Right, I know.
Doing it to me. Like, I am a huge Sansa. I love Sansa. I love Catelyn. I love Danny. Why are they not Catelyn? She's dead. But why are those other two
Catelyn was a
pissing
saint.
me
You
off?
watch your goddamn mouth.
Yes, you're right. Bless me. Forgive me,
Holy
Father
water.
Christ.
Holy water. Holy water.
Anyways, like the fact that I'm having so much, like, what the fuck, girls? I don't like it.
Come on, ladies. Let's figure this shit
Let's
out.
get them, girls.
Let's get them, girls. I don't think we can say that whole song. Throw out your head. Stick out your tush.
Hands on your hips. Give them a push.
Give him a push. You'll be surprised. You're
You're
doing the
French
grandest
mistake.
mistake.
Ooh, hooey.
Ah!
Hell with that. I work for Mel Brooks.
I work for Mel Brooks. Yeah, so I'm pretty frustrated with what Sansa's doing here. I mean, come on, get your shit together. I wish the dragon was feeling better. And I like Sandor and Arya kind of riding off on the horses together. That was cute. They're the best duo in the show. Still.
Agreed.
Well, it was funny how, like, he sees her come to ride with him, and he's like, "For fuck's sake!"
For fuck's sake. And she goes, "Are you alone?" He goes, "I was."
I don't like people. Yeah, neither do I.
Kind of like forced companionship that he was just like not about. And
But I think he does respect her, and I think it's gonna be okay. I think
yeah.
they like each other well
And
enough.
and even brings up, he's like, it must felt good sticking that pointy-headed motherfucker in the gut there. And the thing is, I can't remember her response now, but I remember it was like, it just off the cuff. It was what it
Well,
was.
because he calls her a hero, and she's like, "I don't like heroes."
Yeah, it's like he does like knights.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into some of these goodbyes here with Davos, Jon. Am I on the right one again?
Yes, now
Yeah.
you're on the right
I don't
one.
know
What
what the
about
fuck you're
Arya
doing.
like, why is she? I don't plan on coming back. That's my only note on this one.
Because what's west of Westeros?
Americos, duh.
Columbios.
Amerigo Vespucios.
Aria Vespucios.
There you
So
go.
yeah, that's. I mean,
Arierica.
but like, really, why? You can't ever.
She's
come
going to
back.
Storm's End.
Abby.
Yeah, she's gotta go home.
She's
and-
gonna die. So
No,
um,
she's not. Shut your mouth.
So let's
I've already
talk
been too
about
much-
Davos, John, Tormund, Sam, Gilly, and Ghost. And a Gilly Ghost.
And a killy ghost.
Ilias.
John says
Gilly
his
Gilly
farewell,
Ghosty free.
sends his pup back north, and congratulates Sam on the sex.
Hey Glenn, what are your thoughts on the sex?
Pet the dog's dick. Damn.
Oh man.
Hey.
Yeah, and I
Luke?
say pet the damn dog, dick.
And
Comma dick.
Comma, a strong verbal comma.
The damn.
Yeah,
and
Benj, what did you say?
now I get the joke. Put the damn dog, Dick.
Pet the damn dog
Pet
dick.
the damn dog dick.
Pet the damn dog dick. No verbal comma.
No verbal comma.
You guys are like the worst of the worst.
I want you to pet the dog, but a certain part of the dog.
So Benji wrote his first, saying just pet the damn dog dick. No comma. I put mine, pet the damn dog, comma, dick. And Clay just goes, pet the dog's dick. Damn.
Damn.
It
Damn.
reminds me of there was a Facebook something, I don't even know, and somebody was like, "Oh my god, eat Abby," and it should have been eat, comma Abby. And Luke comments on it really
Eat Abby.
sarcastically. I don't want to, like, that's terrible.
Grammar
Abby-
saves lives, Abby.
Like a troll.
That's what it was. That was the next thing.
Unless you're a
Grammar
troll.
saves lives. And I was like, I don't even get what the fuck's going on. Like, what?
Yeah. So, all right. So, Luke, I am gonna go into my
Go
little
for it.
rant here. God, are you fucking kidding me?
Yes.
I think they are
Seriously.
kidding.
No, I don't give a shit. This is what pissed me off the most. I'm not a
They're
David
just
and Dan
kidding.
hater. I am not a hater of the show writers, showrunners, all this. But really, you're gonna give up the one familiar we have left? I'm pretty sure I'm drinking a goddamn Rolling Rock, slamming a Rolling Rock because I made a bet that we'd see Nymeria in her pack. We're not getting that. And now I'm fucking pissed because you're getting rid of Ghost, and there's no fucking point to get rid of Ghost. It's a normal sized dog now. He's not even a super sized fucking dog. It's a normal sized fucking wolf. Keep him around. Let him fucking pad up alongside. Why get rid of John? I know they're building up to, oh, John's giving up his stuff too. No, Ghost does not need to go north. Ghost needs to go south where there's fucking food. There's no food up north. That's why he's so goddamn small. It just irked the fuck out of me seeing
Grinds
that.
your
And it's
gears.
like, no, sorry. That's first time in a long time where I'm just like, fuck you.
Do you know what I really loved about this? It has nothing to do with the actual show. It has to do with the outrage. The absolute outrage that he could not even pet his fucking direwolf. Like, good on all of you animal owners out there for being decent, loving, kind pet owners, because I don't know, props. I was like, man, people are really pissed. Like, he didn't touch them. I was happy with you, Twitter.
I'm with him. Like I'm really surprised that there was like, hey, so blatant a separation. Like, why? I just don't get it.
And they even had the dog like whine at him.
I
Yeah,
mean,
like,
I
oh,
get it, 'cause
what
I
about
feel like,
me?
dog, get away. I just cleaned up your shit upstairs. I don't want to touch you. Good. I'm just going to the grocery store. Goodbye. So I don't know. I'm not, but I loved it. I loved the.
I feel like the ASPECA should be all over John for one neglect of Ghost for months in season 7. Like, come on, you can't just leave the dog.
I mean, there was years. Really, there was multiple seasons we didn't see him at
And
all.
they
That's
didn't
true.
they didn't even give him a torch to light
Light
one
one
of
of
the
the
fires. You
fires.
know, come on.
Does he even have access to real water?
These are the hard hitting
He
questions.
just gets to drink what's left of the Night King.
or the goat's milk.
He'll be happier up north. Tormund would absolutely be a great pet owner.
Oh, I think that's I mean, hopefully we don't go, husband of wolves with this or anything, but
No,
He will.
I think he'll appreciate having the pup around.
he will appreciate the
He,
dog's.
he'd have a puppers.
Companionship. Puppers. Yes.
So another part of this scene is, you know, Sam and Gillyweed having a little pup of their own. Abby, what are your thoughts on her being pregnant? Anything?
Well, I think she is pregnant in like real life, possibly. I don't really actually know that, but I do know that a while ago people were hating on her weight or what she looked like. So fuck all you and stop that shit. If she's pregnant in real life, congratulations to you, actress. I don't know your name, but I do love you, Gilly. And um, my other thing about this just set of scenes is all these goodbyes seem so final. This isn't like, oh, hey, buddy, we'll see you in a year. This is like, we will never see you again,
Right.
is how what I'm feeling from it.
Kind of
Not
all aboard the SS abandoned plot lines.
yeah, like we're all done, we're all
Yeah.
sunk, like this is over. And there have been other shows that have kind of been like, oh, this is like really final because this is the final season. We know that. So maybe that's what they're going for. And I hope so because part of me is like, what are they really gonna kill off John? Because like his best friend's sitting there being like, you're the best friend I've ever had. And you know, I it just seems really final for having, I guess it's just 2 episodes, but what the fuck's gonna happen? Who
Trim a little bit
knows?
of fat.
Yeah, I think it's just fundamentally. Yeah, I guess they're going back to Old Town. Where are they going? Are they, like,
Where are Sam and Gilly going?
are they going to the Citadel? Are they going north with the Wildlings?
Yeah.
Probably go home to
Hornhill.
Hornhill.
I mean, there's a couple options. How do you not just like say that? Like, oh, you know, like we're doing this. That would take like what? How quickly did I said that? 2 seconds. Like that would have been pretty easy to like say.
Did
This is where we're
they
going.
show it all? Did he retrieve the sword?
And
The family
Yeah,
sword?
no.
From Jorah.
no,
We don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know yet.
Doesn't say a goddamn word about it.
that and nothing said of okay. Well, Sam, yeah, you officially have broken your vows completely. I mean, yeah, I know it's kind of a look the other way, but how about just a quick scene of, by the way, Night's Watch, you're no longer, held to your, vows or this or that you're allowed to do from Danny or whoever, just to make it like Sam's still a deserter, technically, of the fucking Night's Watch.
Father, no children.
Yeah. And so it's just, I don't know, but small things.
Yeah, but I think fundamentally it's just a. I don't know if I'm worried about John or if I'm worried about them. I think it's more of just the show deciding, you know what, they're just gonna leave, and we're just not gonna see them again on the show, and that's just okay. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how
Like with
take
Tormund and Ghosts and whole thing.
it. Mm-hmm. I do like that Tormund, calls John out because John's like, I guess this is, probably goodbye forever, and Tormund's like, you never know.
You never know.
You never know, and you don't. Any final thoughts here? A couple quick goodbyes, some pet neglect, and we got some ships coming up. So, click on the right thing. We are going to move to a new area for the first time in this episode. And we're going to go on the sea near Dragonstone. And yeah, we got Missandei, Grey Worm, Tyrion, Varys, Dany, some dragons, and Euron plus Ironborn.
Yes, and plus Unsullied. But the lovebirds enjoy a calming boat ride. The Queen's advisors discuss new information. Dany approaches her birth home, and Rhaegal is dropped with a volley of bolts from Euron's ship-mounted scorpions. After Dany scampers off, he turns his attention to the ships and turns them to Swiss cheese. Once back on land, Grey Worm looks for his lost love.
Lenny?
Yeah, so one thing that stuck out to me here were the scorpions that they had made. Like the first battle we saw the scorpion, it was just kind of looked like a prototype and stuff like that. And there was just one of them. But now they have like many of them made. And they're much more improved, and every ship has them, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then like another thing, clearly like the Targaryen ships were not ready for a fight. Like they were not thinking, oh, we're gonna get into a little tussle with the Greyjoy fleet. It's
Yeah,
Just unprepared.
I like how the Targaryens have changed their house words to "We do not scout." You know, like let's not do anything to go ahead and just make sure that
We get
Dragonstone is
headed off at the pass.
like is safe to get to. There's like that one big bluff that they forgot about, that an entire fucking small fleet of Greyjoys can be sitting there. Come on, like Abby, you're shaking your head pretty hard.
It's just super annoying. Like, Tyrion is supposed to be this great intellect. We have Davos out there who is a sea, like, captain of the sea. And I didn't mean actual
Seafarer.
captain.
He's
I
also
didn't,
a chicken of the sea.
I meant like captain of the team,
He's
like
a chicken in the
top
sea
rated,
tuna.
upper echelon of the seafaring
Chickens on the
community.
land, fish in the sea.
Like Jessica Simpson, tuna, Anyways, so like nobody thought like, oh hey, they have some boats. Maybe we should send out a skiff, some search parties, some forwardly deployed people. No,
Some
that's
ravens.
all. Bran, like any fucking buddy. No, okay, cool. Just dumb. It's dumb. It's poor planning. Probably because they didn't have any rest. But that's just my thoughts.
For once, Abby, I agree with you. It's kind
Vodka?
of piss poor. Yeah, I really thought whenever the dragon starts getting hit, when Rhaegos, get the one kind of right towards the heart, you get the one that kind of goes through the wing. The one, because I was like, all right, okay, some more damage, not good, survivable. I think we can get through this. The one that fucking breaks through its neck, I was like, that one got me. I was like, it just looked cool. Like,
Yeah,
you're
'cause it just-
fucked, son. Like,
Blood just kind
you're
of.
fucked.
If you stop dancing the faces, you could see that.
I know, but I'm having fun dancing the faces. Look at these faces. Oh, they're so sad. Oh, they're so happy. They're so sad. They're
Look at
so
how
happy.
far it goes. Blue bar.
Blue bar.
So I'm going to talk about the part in the middle here really quickly with Tyrion and Varys. I love how Tyrion's trying to justify that he made the right call when it's becoming clearer and clearer that he might not have. He's like, but she's our queen, and maybe they can do this. And Varys is like, yeah, but no.
Yeah.
He pleads with Ari to remain a loyal advisor. And Ari
Yeah.
says, I've said too much.
Yeah,
That's it."
exactly. So, and then after the attack, once Tyrion gets, Rhaegal gets shot down, and they take the attack in the boat. Right at like the 54-minute mark is when the blackout comes. The mast falls on Tyrion, and it goes to black. Any other time, that would have been end of the episode. And they did it. Like I'm pretty sure they did it specifically for people who like not assholes or whatever like us who know the run times and are expecting it to go longer, but it was right at that normal end of the episode time. So if you're just watching this
Yeah,
casually,
I know what you're saying, because it was almost like they could
was
easily
an
end the episode here.
yeah, it was an extended blackout. Like it was a good 5 seconds. So you're thinking, what, is this over? And then they cut to on the
Those
shore.
sons
and
of
everything.
bitches.
Have they done that many times?
They've done it a couple times.
This was
they-
like the most blatant one that I can remember. Like,
Yes, this one and Beyond the Wall. I remember there was the scene Beyond the Wall, like after.
There
Like-
was, I don't know if it's Beyond the Wall, but there was absolutely one episode where I was like, it kept going. That's the only, I don't remember what it was. It could have been Beyond the Wall. It just kept going.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was because like Beyond the Wall had one of those moments where right before even John came out of the ice, I think when they flew off, they kind of blacked out, and then it came back to John coming. Like it blacked out, but through to light of John coming out of the ice,
Hashtag
kind of thing. So, but yeah, they've only used it a couple. They've only used this a couple times, but they hit it at the right time frame to where, like I said, the casual viewer is gonna be like, "Oh shit, okay, what the fuck's gonna happen?" And then it happens, and it keeps going.
yeah, kind of during this attack, we see the scorpions. So this is a perfect picture of it. The new and improved scorpions on the ships. I love that they've worked the kraken like suckers on into the design of it. It looks awesome.
looks like Hank from Finding Dory.
Yes, like an octopus. That's
That's. I just wanted to get the name Hank in there. Sorry.
yeah, that's a good choice. I'm good with it. I'm good with it. But I just like that they've clearly Qyburn has taken, the cultural aspect of the troops into,
Design your own scorpion.
yeah, it's a design your own scorpion adventure. Um,
Like Martha Stewart's coming designing all these scorpions for these people.
yeah, that's good. Glennie, you got anything good or
For
any of this?
Are we still on the same one?
Yeah, we're still in the same one.
Or you're just coming back to me.
I'm just
Should I say my note again
You know what? Say one
for the
of
kids at home?
you want to. You don't have to. That's
God
fine.
damn it.
That's fine. I really thought, the scene with Tyrion and Varys was interesting. Varys is very disenchanted at this point, right? And I know Abby kind of mentioned that he's pretty much Tyrion is basically begging Varys to not, do something. He says, please don't do this," pretty much. And how many times have you switched kings? And Varys is honesty is the only. You've always known where my loyalty lies
With the peeps.
with the peeps. And
Well, that's a little later too. That's
But
Okay.
I do have a
The
question.
seed is planted for that one here.
This.
say that again, Abby.
I have a question specifically about this. He's pleading with Varys to remain a loyal advisor. And he asks, what happens to her then? What happens to Dany? He doesn't answer. Does that mean he's going to have her killed off some way?
Right.
And then he's sat by from and I know my count is not exactly set in stone, but at least 4 other rulers, and kind of let them just willy-nilly through life and fuck shit up. But now that Dany's here, who seems to at least have some type of goal, now he's gonna really step in and get her out of there. I don't understand.
okay. He,
I don't understand that.
I'm gonna say you're not. You're kind of incorrect because he was doing that even with Robert, because like back in the first season, he was seen with Illyrio Mopatinus in the Dragon or in the
Yeah, I remember.
dungeons, already scheming against that king to put a Targaryen on the throne. So he's always been about, as he
This
says,
threat on Dany's life. He was gonna poison her wine so she would be taken out
He-
immediately.
but he
Where
also told Jorah that it was coming, or he gave Jorah a heads up that it was coming to save her.
no.
Yes.
No.
Oh, sorry.
I
Okay.
disagree with you.
Yeah.
I meant
no.
I felt like immediately right now he's going to poison her wine, not back
Oh,
then.
I gotcha. And
We're gonna poison her wine because we're done with her. Whereas we had Robert Baratheon for how many years?
but you have to. He has to look at the fighting options. Right now, there's a valid option besides Dany, a better option besides Dany, in his opinion. So why not? Yeah, take out the queen as needed. Had there been a better option at the moment for Robert, like ready to go, he might have made those steps.
I-
He's going to work for the betterment of the people, and I do believe him when he says that.
our counter argument to you, because I'm totally Team John. So I mean, I just was wondering what his actual intention was here. What
Yeah.
step he take?
I think my overall thought is we really just need everyone to get the fuck over the issue of John and Dany just getting married, because that's going to solve basically everything. That's
Exactly.
the easiest. Let's just fucking do it. Let's get over it. And props to Linda Smith in the chat who said that earlier. Was like, I'm working there. I'm getting there.
Trying to get there.
But yeah, it's just
There's-
yeah. I know the people supporting John might not like it, but guess what? It'll be fine.
He's
Like,
a Targaryen.
guys,
They do that.
it's gonna be okay.
I absolutely agree with you. I just think the problem is that Dany won't accept anything other than solo rulership.
I just think I should put this up here. This is scenes and scenes ago. I probably can't see it, but it says, "Ugh, Danny, get over it and just get married." That's my for real note.
What a note.
That's my notes. Get married. I agree.
All right.
Okay, Abby, you have another note here.
Oh, it is. It's right at as the dragons are just flying over the boats for the first time. It's called the downwash. Think of a helicopter when you have the helicopter winds coming down. You can see the grass all blowing. There's an actual downwash over the boat as
The bloated boat.
Yeah, as the dragon flies over, I just thought it was very impressive that they did that because they could have just I don't think anybody would have noticed, but I noticed the downwash, the pressure and the force coming down on the boat. I thought was really neat. Good job.
Nice
Yep, they could
job.
spend the money on that CGI, but fuck off, Ghost.
Can't
Ah,
even pet your dog.
Anyway,
can't
moving
even
on.
pet a
Can't
dog.
pet
Yeah,
the
they can't
dog.
afford to pet the dog, sick.
Yeah, they totally left that out. But we do get some firing at the ships as well, right? And this is kind of one of those, hey, let's walk around with Tyrion on the boat and see him, almost get shot. It's just so we could show some, graphics of the boat getting destroyed.
Him jumping ship.
Jumping ship, and Grey Worm
I am
tells
dis-
Missandei to take the skiff and get the fuck out, basically.
Yeah.
What do you
I
got,
am
Bench?
disappointed with the lack of actual humans getting hit with one of the scorpion bolts.
Right, there should have been somebody.
Somebody,
You know,
I mean,
just
we had the
one
same thing
person.
like at the wall, right? The guy gets hit with the giant arrow,
yeah,
literally from a giant. I feel like that would have been a pretty easy thing for them to add in here as well.
Yeah.
But Missandei is missing, right? And
Mhm.
fundamentally, this is why you just never hold hands. Don't hold hands because you're, especially if you're in a drama show, you're gonna go missing. 1985, one of the missing.
Where's my Missandei?
Where's my
I didn't I
I am the Grey
Had to
Worm.
get it in there
I am
once.
the
Sorry.
Grey Worm.
I do feel like of the emotion of this, I buy kind of the most.
Oh, it was
Hey.
precious.
It was precious, yeah.
Varys the
But
merman.
Yeah, I think this was a little bit more confirmation that Varys is in fact not a merman.
Yeah,
He's
we get
struggled in the
legs.
water.
I
He's
think I'm pretty
coughing.
sure I
He's
got a
just-
picture of the
he's
Varys
just
legs.
kidding.
I left that in just for that joke.
He'll
I don't
walk out of
see
the
him.
water with legs. Doesn't mean he's not.
He's just kidding.
Maybe, maybe not.
I was gonna say
No,
it's
I
only
didn't. I
when
cut
they're
it.
in the water, right?
You don't want
just
to play all your cards.
or your mer cards. So, ready to go to King's Landing?
No.
Sure.
No, Abby, you got something
No.
else?
I'm just no.
We're not.
Oh, you're not ready. Not emotionally ready.
It's okay. We got a couple other scenes before we get back to King's Landing.
It all gets bad.
So let's talk about Cersei, Euron, Qyburn Mountain, and where Missandei goes.
Yeah, so Cersei learns of Euron's triumphs, and we learn what happened to the Queen's translator.
Bench kicks off.
So even though they knew she would do it, it's a smart play bringing the small folk into the keep for her protection. You know, yes, we knew she was going to bring the people in because it's what tyrants do. They bring the innocents around them to serve because it works. And so now it's going to show that either Dany has one of two options: attack the castle on the ground and be forced into a siege battle, or burn it to the ground. And as Tyrion is fearful of, murdering millions, or if not thousands, tens of thousands in the Red Keep itself, just to get to Cersei. So it's a smart play, and I like that she's actually using it. Yeah, it can backfire on her, but at the same time, for the short term, it works.
Well, it's a pretty smart plan on Cersei's end to get at least the public opinion on her side. She looks like she's saving them by basically
Exactly.
putting them up as bait. And yeah, I think it's pretty strong tactically.
Right, and she says something like, "Just leave the gates open."
Yeah, let them keep coming in. Just let
See
them
what
keep
happens.
going.
Open arms. Come as you are. We'll take you all. We'll protect you. What a dick.
And she doesn't mean that as a compliment.
No, I do not, fandom. Mm.
Oh man, Glennie, what else you got here? Anything?
Yeah, I kind of agree with what has been said already. It's just giving Dany a very tough decision, and it's just like your class. We see the next scene where they're like, "Don't kill don't kill all these fucking people," but it's almost like she's gonna have to, like, either she loses the battle or she wins the battle, but she's gonna piss off a bunch of people, and like I think that's basically something for Cersei, that if she loses, like, at least almost Dany's gonna come with me or something like that. So it's gonna be a tough one. But it's just one instance where Cersei's just another move ahead of everybody.
Mm-hmm. Abby, you got anything on Cersei blatantly telling Euron the baby is his?
The baby.
I mean, okay, sure. My earring just fell out.
I saw that. It was so dramatic.
Oh, it was my earpiece. Just kidding. There we go. Okay, there we go. No, nothing about the baby at just this point. But I mean, you know, she's something. We'll say that. Bless her.
All right. Anything else on this scene? Qyburn's there.
He nods.
He sure does. He sure does nod.
Yep, she knocked up. Yep.
Can confirm.
Yep.
All right.
That'll come later.
Then let's go ahead and move on to Dragonstone, where we have. Oh, I guess we walk past Missandei. We have the reveal that they have captured Missandei, and Cersei drops the so much for Breaker of Chains.
What?
Yeah.
What a villain move right there.
Missandei of everything. She is the most decent person in this entire series. Think about it.
She comes from a world without
No,
conflict, or without,
you think of one undecent thing she has done.
Who, Cersei?
Ever. No, we can think of 5,000. Now my earring really did fall out because I'm getting heated. I'm getting mad.
Talking about
Like,
Euron Greyjoy, right?
She was kind of snotty to Sansa.
no, she
last
wasn't
week.
snotty. She was having her friends back without being snotty. Like she was just, hey,
I agree. I'm
she's-
that's
Let's
smart.
keep putting the quarters in. Abby, we're trying to get Abby really angry. Keep putting the quarters in.
guys finish last. Like, no, they don't. Missandei, like this.
Except for when you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
Or you finish last.
You win or you become a Sunday.
She's just trying to translate shit. She's just an English secondary language teacher, okay? Like, just leave her alone. She's nice and she looks really good in pants. All right, leave her
Good in
alone.
She
pants.
lied to her own master when Danny was trying to. I'm not even gonna play it. Never
She
mind.
didn't lie to her master. She lied to Danny about what he was saying to make her master seem more decent, which
No,
was
she-
decent.
Well, yeah, she
That's
did
true.
that, but she also lied to the master about what Danny was saying. Like
Yeah,
she
well.
retranslated to.
Yeah,
but
Okay,
yeah.
okay, let's go to Dragonstone. Let's go to
Yes,
Dragonstone.
yes.
Jeez.
go.
With Danny, Grey Worm, Varys, and Tyrion.
So plans to react to the attack are made. The Queen's counselors discuss their other options.
Abby, go for it.
What plans were made? Like, it's a fucking joke. I'm pissed. They did a terrible job. Let's go stand out front of the gates and send Tyrion up there. Everything will be fine.
Glenny?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of something that's been hinted at, like, kind of all episode, but it's like they know Jon has a more powerful claim, would make a better ruler, and even though he doesn't want it, the people could force his hand and be like, we don't fucking like her, we like you, you're the king. Bada boom, bada bing.
Benj.
So she makes this statement to Varys. I want to free the world of tyrants, Lord Varys. And I wanted him to say by just response, what? By becoming one? Because that's her plan right now. Going in and burning the Red Keep. Fuck all the peasants that are in there with her. I want to kill Cersei, want to kill them all. Burn them all. Fuck that fucking place. Hot Topic included. Burn them all.
Leave
But-
Spencer's gifts.
Leave Spencer's gift. And Punko
And
Land
the
can stay.
pretzel time or whatever it's called. 'Cause
Oh,
that shit's
Annie Ann's.
good.
Annie
Ann's
Ann's.
or
Yeah, let's
Wetzel's
leave that.
pretzels. Yeah.
But-
Yeah,
Mm.
they're good.
But that's basically the vibe she's giving off of fuck them. I'm gonna burn them all. I'm gonna destroy them because she got beat. She got outplayed again, and it's not because I listen to my advisors. No, you got fucking outplayed. It doesn't matter if it was because of your advisor's advice. You chose to listen to your advisors, so that's on you. You can't blame anybody else. She wants to blame everybody else, but she can't. and she's realizing that, and Varys is calling her out on it. He's
I
saying,
don't feel like I have any idea what scene we're talking about here.
we're talking Dragonstone. It's in Dragonstone when Dany and Varys and Tyrion are talking about, what are we gonna do? And they're saying, wait for your forces to show up.
I don't
to-
remember this at all. Like honestly, like it's not even in my notes.
No?
I don't.
No?
Okay, I was probably just seeing red at this point. That's just
Stay in your lane,
Possibly.
Gertie.
Stay in your lane, Gertie.
Yeah, it was right after the Missandei is shown to be captured, so I can understand that. But it's one where she's just going almost Mad Queen-esque, and she gets reeled back into Tyrion by Tyrion saying, "Give Sir," and this is where really I said this earlier, but this is where the line comes up of give her a chance, let her know she can. We don't have to have bloodshed. She can go free because that's what she wants.
okay.
Uh, and and Danny's just getting more and more pissy looking like the grumpy face, the fucking constipation face going, as he's talking, and it's again sound advice. So that's why they chose to do what they do later, standing outside the gates and do a parlay with it. Also, I love the Varys' honesty here. She's not the best nor the right choice. It's about what claim and it's not about the claim. It's what's best for the people. Yes, John has the better claim. Not be Yes, because he's a man. Yes, because he's got a cock, and cocks matter in that aspect. But that doesn't
Especially
matter.
the
He's
dog's
still the
cock.
better ruler, as we have talked about. The better politician, the better leader, and
Is
would
this
be the
where
better.
they talk about destiny? That she proclaims her destiny was.
Yes.
Yes.
Man, I was just getting things mixed up. Sorry.
No, and yes. So this is when she's
I
really
jumped
going.
ahead earlier. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I did too. So you're fine.
I was confused. Yep.
But yeah, so this is where she was talking about destiny, and she's very much playing up the it's mine, it's my right, and I have to take it, and not even heeding the fact of if you burn everything, there's nothing to rule. She's almost willing to be the Queen of Ashes in this scene. She's putting off at least.
I certainly think she's looking a bit Mad Queenish for sure. She's going even further into a pretty dark place right now, and it's not a good look. Especially
I mean, at this
from
point, though, they have killed her dragon. Another one of her dragons is now dead.
yeah.
And her best, not even just like, oh, my best friend, like one of the most important people in her entire life, like
in all of her lives.
in all of her lives, all 7 of them. But like, it's a sister, it's a confidant, it's an advisor, it's
A girlfriend.
somebody. Yeah, like it's just that's that's her person. And I've said that since I think it was like season 3 when I was like, Masandi's the one who's up next to her instead of Jorah and everybody else.
Mhm.
It's Masandi. That is her closest thing to her in her life, and they've just ripped that away too. I mean, I think she deserves, maybe not deserves, but
It's
a little bit of
understandable.
Mad Queen is definitely understandable at this point.
Yes, and I don't disagree with you. I don't like it, but I don't disagree with you.
So
it is understandable.
The follow-up part of this scene is Varys and Tyrion chit-chatting.
I was talking about this earlier, so
Yeah,
that's
that's
why I
okay.
got
That's okay.
confused. Yeah.
And I was kind of off on this as well, Abby.
Yeah.
But in this scene, for me, Varys for the throne right now. He's the only person I trust in this entire story right now.
I mean, I trust Masandi. We know how that.
She's got a good head on her shoulders. I mean, what could go wrong?
Point. Right.
Anything else on this section though?
I was thinking.
I like Varys. I think his honesty
should be on the throne, yeah.
is really
Yeah.
good. I'm here for it. I like it. So let's go ahead and jump back up to Winterfell for a little bit, where we have Jaime, Sansa, and Brienne.
Yeah, so the Kingslayer learns of Cersei's victory and heads south to be with her.
Glenn.
I was just a little bit surprised how Jamie kind of goes over there, what's going on? Like, what's happening? And then Brienne's just like, Missandei was captured. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like there was like enough time to like, this is Missandei.
For Jamie to have any fucking recognition of who
Or,
Missandei
yeah,
is.
like, they should have, Danny's translator, that one girl.
You know, the hot one that wears pants.
The one with the pants.
The one with the pants, you know her.
She's been captured.
Yeah, because they basically are like, you know, she lost a dragon, we lost a couple ships. Oh, and Missandei.
Missandei, you remember her.
Abby is
Question.
very confused.
Hear me right?
Yes, it's really choppy, but
Microphone but here is
yeah, I think we can hear you blinking. You're coming in as that's
I
muting.
see it blinking.
Yeah, drop out of the call and call back in.
Drop.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. Bye.
Bye. Well, that's been Gertie. She's stayed in her
Out
lane.
of her lane right
She
now.
is out of her lane. Yeah. So, Benj, what do you see in this scene here?
So, okay, I'm gonna call out. This was heartbreaking in the sense of I almost always hate the pick me, choose me, love me, and shout out to anybody in the chat that can name where that's fucking from. It's so girly and so stupid and so just weak. This was not that. It it has that feel of it, but it was not that. It was not that girly, you know, I'm the one that loves you. I'm the one that, it was very true and heartfelt. And so for him to basically come up and say, I'm not a good guy, and everybody in the fandom in the realm's like, oh, Jamie's on this redemption arc. No, he's a dick. He fucking pushed a kid out the window. He would everything he mentions in this scene. And yep, I already got it right. But he mentions, everything that he's done. He's been on a roller coaster of a redemption. There's no arc. There's been ups and downs and ups and downs. Now, do I think that what they're portraying is what is actually going on? No, I think we'll actually get the best of Jamie, and I think there will be a redemption in the end. But him doing this to Brienne without even including her, it's a dick move. She's willing to fight with you. If you broke it down for her and said, hey, this is what needs to happen, but the way he portrays it is he's just the lost pussy whipped puppy that wants to fucking go back and fuck his sister because, you know what? I think our side's going to lose now. I don't like this look, show writer character wise. I'm not a fan of it. Like the subversion kind of thing, trying to make the viewers think something that's not good, that may or may not happen.
Yeah, my number one thing that I wrote down is garbage. I think this is another one of those, I'll use the word again, character assassination. I think it's fucking stupid. I don't understand what they're doing with Jamie. They don't fucking stand it, and they're getting cheap thrills out of it. Like, oh, let's make it something worth talking about. Like, because he's going back again. Like, oh man, look at all the fun we're having by fucking with you guys. It's such garbage. And along with this, after Brienne tells Jamie, what happened, guess what? We have him waking up, or on like the bench at the foot of her bed with her sleeping. So presumably they've had sex again after this information, and then he leaves, is what it looks like. I mean, get the fuck out of here. The fuck. I mean, come on, this is fucking stupid. And I'm not here to give out speculations right now, but if he doesn't go down and fucking kill Cersei, I'm gonna be really fucking pissed. Because this is stupid.
Wasn't that part of the prophecy? Or?
It would fit that. It
would.
And
or
if
at
that's
least Arya
not
wearing Jamie's face.
if that's not what they're doing, this is still garbage.
Right
and
off.
because he gives her, he pulls the I'm a dick, you hate me, like this is not cool, which very much reminded me of Tyrion with hashtag Shea Stadium of, I didn't love you, you're a whore, like just like attacking her to make it okay that he's leaving. If that's not what happens, I gotta say I'm really disappointed in a lot of this show. So there we go. Gertie is still very much outside of her lane.
MIA.
MI lane, missing in lane. But let's go ahead and I guess move on to our final scene.
Finale.
Yeah, I hope Abby can get it in for this one. So yes, final scene. Cheers.
Every episode we have a final scene, and this is what this one looks like. So we are going to the gates of King's Landing, and we see Tyrion, Dany, Grey Worm, Varys, Unsullied, Cersei, Euron, Mountain, Missandei, and Mountain.
He's so big, he's got to be named twice.
He's-
I didn't realize I had him in there twice.
Night so
All right,
nice.
so
They named him twice.
the two hands meet to discuss the other queen's surrender. Both balk. Cersei hears out her brother's pleas and follows through on her threat, taking a little bit off the top.
All right, Benj, kick us off.
So they definitely are ready for for a fight. There's a crap ton of scorpions up top the parapets and battlements there. Yeah, they've been sitting. They haven't, like Cersei said, we haven't been just sitting back waiting. You know, we got ready. So the dragon is, especially now that they're down to one, is kind of a moot point. They're pretty much ready for him. I love the line between Tyrion and Qyburn. I don't want to hear the screams of burning children. Oh, it's not a pleasant sound. You motherfucker. Yes, we get it. You've heard the screams of burning children before, you know, but it's just I've never really disliked Qyburn until that moment.
Oh, I loved him even more. I loved his
Well,
character right here.
I love the character. Don't get me wrong. I love the character, but like you know me, I'm the guy who was a Ramsay fan. I love the sick, demented guys.
Famous Ramses.
I meant this is made to make me dislike
Xfalzi.
Qyburn more, and it worked. You know, it was like
Go
fuck.
Go
But I mean, as the sycophant
The
that I am,
sycophant
I
merchant.
loved the line,
see.
but it says the fan is like, oh, you piece of shit, you know. So it worked well both ways. But I gotta respect Cersei. You gotta, as we've said, you have to follow through on the threat. There's if you make the threat and you don't get what you want, you gotta follow through, and she did. You know, but what really sucks is Missandei had to die in chains. She was basically born a slave, you know, or pulled into slavery, lived most of her life as a slave, quote unquote, in chains, and ended up dying in chains. And that, to me, is the shittiest part of this whole thing because I will never say a character doesn't deserve to die in the show. There's no character that with the most plot armor that doesn't deserve to die because everybody dies. Valar Morghulis, every man dies. But for that, it sucks. You know, her
Cersei
dying.
deserves to die.
I don't disagree. You know, but in that one, just with Missandei having to be in chains, that's the hardest part. And I didn't realize until today, going through another thread, somebody else had mentioned it. I was like, oh fuck, and then it really hit me, like just doubly fold after reading that. I didn't realize, like, it didn't connect with me. And then
her
I
dying
read
in
that, it
chains.
was like, oh shit. And it, yeah, really hit home on the second watch through with all this. So
Glenn, what
That's all I
hit
got.
you in your home?
What hit me in my home?
Or tell us about your hardest part.
So here's
remember,
the thing.
we're a PG channel here.
And the
so-
thing
Are we?
is, like at the end when it was all kind of said and done, Missandei gets, you know, head chopped off. You know, we all remember how that went down. Anyways, like you just see like kind of the emotions with Grey Worm and Dany has like one of those looks like, you know, enough with doing it this pussy way. Much like, was it last season when they kind of lost, like Tyrion had all these plans and shit like that. We're gonna take Castle Rock from them or whatever. Lost the battles of Castle Rock, even Highgarden and stuff like that. They, you know, people there got pulverized,
Mm-hmm.
if you will.
Some of them were liquidated.
liquidated. You know,
Many perished.
they perished. And like she just kind of went with her raw emotions after that. We're like, enough with your pussy fucking way of, you know, trying to politic and meet with, you know, this bitch or whatever. We're gonna do it my way now, and it's gonna burn stuff. And like at the end of the day, she can't have much confidence in her remaining advisors because they kind of told her like not to play with her raw emotions like that. We need to make sure that we do our due diligence and meet with them and try to order some kind of treaty or dealio, if you will. By the way, the castle gate looks pretty cool. I don't think we've ever seen this before.
This was
like,
new.
Especially for like King's Landing, like the outside of it, the gate going into.
And every time we've seen King's Landing, it's been like like gardens, like a lot of times we've been in the gardens,
or just like some kind of road.
And
They're all scheming in the gardens. Put game in my goddamn gardens.
Or even like if you think of when we've been outside in King's Landing, where Oberyn Martell was supposed to be showing up, the Dornish showed up with Pod calling out the banners with Bronn and Tyrion. It was pretty lush. If you see this, it's like fucking desolate. The deforestation outside of it, like that they've chopped down everything. Yeah, this looks like a fucking war zone ready to happen, like as we've never seen for King's Landing. So I think that's pretty telling. I think the Scorpions look fucking awesome. They literally brought 50 men with them. You can count them. There's two groups of 5x5 unsullied here, plus the kind of row in front.
At the same time, these are what's left over from the big battle at sea, or lack thereof.
Right. This would have been really easy to just, hey, let's just kill them all real quick. Let's just shoot a couple scorpion bolts into the heart of this small group. Take out Dany, war it over. Like, it just seems like that could have happened.
And it's amazing how like it's almost like the honor.
Like, when do they choose? Like, it's very selective, but like, why? If she's truly pulling like the Tywin being effective thing, why does she give a shit about
especially
not just
when
killing them?
The dragon's also in the background. They could easily throw a couple arrows that way.
Right. The respect for parlay, I'm surprised by. I think is my main point.
Yeah, it's amazing because it just seems like a lot of times they would cutthroat at any given opportunity, and like something like this is just like an easy. Let's just end it here.
Right. It doesn't look good for PR, but guess what? It ends the fucking war. And I don't think that's gonna end up mattering. But they don't. Tyrion does talk to Qyburn and then walks right past after he knows exactly what Qyburn's gonna be saying. He's like, we don't understand
enough
that.
Of this malarkey.
And he walks right up and is basically staring down Cersei. She has them all, knock, and they don't draw or loose. I guess they do draw. They don't loose. But I really think Tyrion should have called her out because he starts talking about the baby. Like, I knew you would, do anything for your baby, even more than protect yourself. He should have flat out said something about the baby being Jaime's, because Euron right there, I think that would have changed the tide of their relationship, because not that Tyrion knows that, but like if he just offhand says, this is, your last baby with Jaime, like that would have been something.
That Euron is gullible enough to realize like this baby you just told me about this morning, or within now Tyrion knows about it.
That's what I'm saying.
I think Qyburn is going to be the key to that. Qyburn mentioned it while he was out there talking to him.
That's yeah, I don't know.
But also, what I was going to say is, with it, what you notice is they don't show Euron again. After they bring up the baby thing, there's no, except for like one maybe all-encompassing shot, but there's not like a shot to Euron.
Here's the other thing, though. Here's the other thing. Like, with the whole, you're a great mother. I know you're not a monster because you're a mom and you're a really good mom. We've already had this speech and she's still this way. Why the fuck do you think this is going to produce any different result? That's crazy. You know this doesn't work. We've already had this conversation. You were in her little room with the great little window. You know what I'm talking about? But anyways,
Maury Povich, that's what I
like
said.
we've already had this conversation. You've already told her you're a good mom. You're really great at this. You love your kids. This, that, and the other. And she's still this fucking crazy. Like, it's dumb. You've already done this, and you're doing it again. Why is it going to work this time? It's not. Stupid.
I will give credit to Danny and probably they knew they would not give Missandei back. There was no chance. It's if they had any thought that it would work, they're just fucking morons for believing it. But and I think Missandei knew that as soon as we see her the last shot, she's like, "I'm dead." Standing there when Cersei makes the breaker of chains comment. Missandei is already resolved to, "I'm dead. I know it." And Phil in the chat brought it up, and it's a good point. Why didn't Missandei just grab Cersei and jump off the parapet? Story. That's my only answer to that. Beyond that, it would make sense.
So Missandei, whenever Cersei walks up to her, and we have that picture right here. It says, "This would be the time if you have any last words." Glennie, what were these last words?
You just said something along the lines of Dracarys.
I think that's pretty close. I don't know if you're paraphrasing or. I think
this mother down.
I thought that was pretty powerful, and they certainly upped the voice and put some effects behind it too, so it carried and had some echoing effects to it, some reverb, if you will. And I thought it was pretty powerful because Missandei knows that it's time to make a stand, and she needs Danny to do that. And this is the, what, fuck it all at this point. And I thought it was pretty good. I thought that was pretty good. My only real question is, you think she's gonna be all right? You think Missandei's gonna make it?
Like I said, she's got a good head on her shoulders. So
head on a swivel for sure.
I think she's got a chance.
I think is that her head rolling off there?
God.
Is this too light, Abby? Are we?
Is this head pie?
Head pie.
This is
Heads will roll.
like, why her? I get it.
Somebody's got to go.
I get it, but couldn't it have been anybody else at this point?
No, because you do love her, and that's why this is the final straw of Cersei truly is the monster that Tyrion says that she's not, but she seems to be. And here is Euron in a picture here, Benj.
No.
What's that?
Here is Euron in a picture.
It's
after
Euron in a
that.
picture.
So my note here is, I don't give a fuck who it is. It can be Danny, it can be Jon, it can be Arya, it can be Sansa on the throne, it can be fucking Hot Pie. I don't give a fuck.
But
Cersei.
What about Moon Pie?
To quote Miss Sunday, burn the bish. Okay?
Burn the bish.
For real.
And Danny is eating that shit up for days. Yep. She is all in. And Tyrion sees it and knows that, yep, guess what? Varys isn't gonna like this. I'm not gonna talk myself out of this one. I was not able to temper her worst impulses, which are about to be completely fucking unleashed. And Cersei knows that too. This is exactly what Cersei was doing. This is a PR move, right? It's all politics, and she went in with the upper hand.
She also is trying to incite Danny to make the dumb rash move of jumping on Drogon, because we have at least 9 scorpions on this side of King's Landing ready to go. She wants her to make that dumb, impulsive move.
Abby?
I'm just so angry at this point. I get it. Fine. For the show, the plot, whatever the fuck you people want to talk about, Missandei had to go because we all love her. Fuck you all. Okay? This was not cool. And fandom, you are even in my notes. Your association with just liking her. I'm so fucking angry with him right now. I'm gonna unsubscribe. I'm unsubscribing right now.
Do not on behalf of the Drinks and Those Things family, do not unsubscribe.
Are you Tyrion lecturing me right now? Because I'm pissed.
No, not you. I'm talking to
No,
our audience.
I'm just teasing.
Abby's views are not supported by the Drinks and Those.
She does not speak for the podcast, that family of podcasts.
Unsubscribe them all.
Her views are her own.
I'm just kidding. Fandom, you're awesome. I support you, not your girl, but that's my girl, and now we're at war, bro.
I still think
it was a
Missandei
good
might win.
ending for the episode. Not a good ending for Sunday, but it was a good way to end the episode on that power note. And shit's gonna go down next episode.
He went up for the next.
Yeah, I think Mountain just teed off.
Get your
You know, it
teas.
didn't feel like he made much contact. It was just like one swipe
Brush your
and
tea.
it's just gone.
Oh
She's
man.
got them like bird bones, you know, like a little bird. Oh, so sweet.
And then Grey Worm looking like the veins gonna fucking burst right through his goddamn skull.
I think that he did a really great job.
The
as
blood's
an
got to flow
actor
somewhere.
in this entire episode. Just
No.
poor guy.
All right, so episode title accuracy. The Last of the Starks.
That's a great title.
Sure.
It's ominous.
I think it's
It's
one of the weaker
rare.
titles we've ever had, personally.
Yeah.
Unless this is like literally the last time
It's
those
mediocre.
four will ever be together. And they all
Well,
die.
Bran doesn't count anymore because he's not.
And
All right.
John
He's a
doesn't
three-eyed
either because
raven.
he's a fucking Targaryen, so
It
we
almost
got
the way they state it almost makes me think of The Last of the Giants, the song, the only other actual song in the books that never made it to the show. I don't know if that's like a hey, we didn't get the song in here, so let's
The Last of the Mohicans.
That's
That's
what
where I
it
was
is.
going, Glenn.
Maybe that's what it
Yeah.
is. Anyway,
last
so
the wine.
why is the wine always gone? So, description accuracy. Jon and Daenerys look to the south in the wake of a costly victory.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tyrion proposes a compromise which could help ease tensions,
He
Marrying
proposed
them
it.
off.
marrying them off, and I think not going in and burning the entire
Meeting with Kyron.
Red Keep. I mean, I think there's a
Yeah.
couple attempts
There's
at
a-
compromise,
Yeah.
and
Sure.
trying to keep Varys from doing whatever he's thinking of
Uh-oh.
doing.
I got hiccups.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
So let's run through our least favorite things. Glenny Dog, what was your least favorite thing?
All those Winterfell goodbyes and like we were talking about earlier, seems like they're trimming the fat.
Mm-hmm. Bench, least favorite thing.
Dany and Sansa's stubbornness, both of them. It's in character for Dany. It's out of character for Sansa. Not a fan of either one of them. Of it.
Stubborn clap.
Stubborn clip. First base coach. Abby, least favorite thing.
This is extensive, so here we go. This is an episode of assholes. We have Tyrion, you're a virgin. Sandor's broken in comments. Dany's making Gendry a lord for self-serving reasons and not giving two fucks about the health and welfare of her troops. Bronn turning on the bros. Jon can't even pet his fucking dog. Sansa's a total snitch. Jaime's fuck 'em and forget 'em move. And then there's Cersei. Bunch of fucking assholes in this show. Didn't like it.
Cool.
My least favorite thing.
I'm giving slow clap on that one. Yeah.
I literally just put large parts of this episode because I have a very similar feeling to Abby. I was really confused and not excited about this episode. I don't know. I didn't like a lot of it, and I think part of that certainly by design. Some of it I feel like is character assassination of like we just want to get this fucking show done with and let's just hurry through it instead of actually making something that's worth
Worthwhile.
watching. I was pretty disappointed in this episode overall. Favorite things, I'm gonna go with Varys for his honesty and everything that the Hound did, especially the broken in comment. Not especially, but I thought it was
Was it
actually.
extra
especially-
especially?
Especially
I did
maybe?
not say
especially.
I know you did not. You,
But
I'm
I do
sorry.
appreciate the way that the Hound and Sansa have a kind of a middle ground that they can see in each other, and it's I'm not gonna say I'm not shipping it. After Theon went down, he's one of the final two contestants I have on who Sansa could marry.
on The Price is Right.
Stay tuned. Abby, favorite thing?
My favorite thing this episode are my earrings that
The asshole
Eleanor
this
gave me.
episode.
Oh yeah, there you go. Your
Boom.
Elamar
And maybe necklace.
dark earrings.
Wow.
Stark necklace.
Whoop. Yep.
That was your favorite thing this episode?
Yep.
So,
That you're
all
wearing.
right. I have to say this. last night I jumped on with 8K and I gave this episode an 8.75 on first watch through because I like the walk and talk and I like the build up and everything. But again, the rewatch and dissecting it, yeah, not a huge fan of this episode. This one actually took me a long time to figure out a favorite thing, and I settled on Braun calling out the two fucks. I know, I because I did like that he finally said, you know what, fuck you two. I could kill you right now. Could kill both of you, get my river run, and do that. But he called out, the history, and he took his position. So you know what? That's the only thing I could sell on. I do like the Varys. I do agree with. I do like that his aspect, but yeah, I had to go with Bronze scene.
Lenny Dog, favorite thing.
Yeah, there's certain visuals, definitely like the scorpions kind of stood out both on the ships and at the gates. Like that was pretty cool. Like
Yeah, they looked cool for sure.
looked pretty cool. Yeah,
And the one going through the bolt going through the dragon neck was awesome. Yeah, good choice. Good choice. And it's certainly a very dangerous weapon. They're much larger than they were when Braun had one.
yeah.
So danger.
They've been improved.
Danger.
They have more mobility, like a lot quicker mobility.
Yep, Harvey Danger. There was also multiple people manning them too, which maybe would have been better if it wasn't just Braun last time.
We need Braun.
So, Abby, can you tell us about another podcast at the podcastthat.com family of podcasts?
I'm sure I can. Is there one selected for me tonight?
It has to do with Harry Potter.
Oh, okay. So you can listen to our podcast, the podcast that must not be named, which is a chapter by chapter reread. I was going to say review, rewatch. Nope. It's a reread of the entire Harry Potter series. We are in the Goblet of Fire right now. And if you think we're entertaining, you should listen to Luke when he's not drunk and our intelligent sister, Melissa, who's intelligent, talk about Harry Potter. Unlike this one. No, I am intelligent. I'm just kidding. That's just a joke I like to make. But because I love you chat people and you like to say things like, "No, Abby, you're great." I know. Anyways,
I know.
I know. I like to tease. But the podcast that must not be named is a great way to look at Harry Potter and the universe in a slowed down, really in-depth version. I love it. Listen every week. You should too.
All right, so Lenny Dog, house name.
Glenn of House Dog.
House words.
You missed 99% of the shots you don't take.
Your house sigil.
A D-O-double-G with a jersey.
What's your personal Twitter?
We are Millers, and personal Twitter is @PopsicleStan.
And your final thought on this episode?
You guys give it shit, but this is your typical run-of-the-mill classic season 8 episode 4 of a Game of Thrones that you can ask for.
Exactly what you wanted.
It's exactly what
it's exactly what you got.
That's exactly what you get.
Ben, house name.
Slive, House McLean.
House words.
It's dangerous to drink alone.
House
Take this.
sigil.
3 black triangles on a red balloon.
Your personal Twitter.
I am a headsman and a kennel lord, or kennel master to my liege lord. My personal Twitter is @SliveMcLean.
And what's your occupation in the realm? No, what's your final thought?
Final
I skipped
thought
it on
is
purpose.
this
Fucked it up.
episode was way too
fucking
bright.
idiot.
I saw everything and it disappointed me. No. Good episode. I did enjoy it. A lot of build, but the negatives we've talked about, yeah, it's an episode.
Abby, house name.
I am Gertie of House Condescending.
House words.
Don't.
Oh, your microphone's doing its
Due
mute
diligence again.
dance again. Do the mute dance.
The mutiny.
It's a mutiny.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, house words.
We don't quit.
House sigil.
It's a field of white with a raven sitting upon a black appointed chevron.
And what's your personal Twitter?
@GoHomeGertie.
And what's your
Fucking-
occupation in the realm?
I am the
Maybe.
mother of drains. Love them drains.
Final thought on this episode.
#Justice for Masandi. #Gertie's an elephant. She remembers.
All right, Luke. What's your personal Twitter?
My personal Twitter is a mead maker.
And that's it. That's your final thought.
Final thought, I would put this as one of the lowest episodes in the entire series.
And that's
right
all
now.
you get.
Okay. So become a patron at patreon.com/stayimaginary for all of the ways you can help keep our beer bank full. Check out the podcastthat.com/support us. Thank you guys all for being here in the chat. Always very fun. And follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Know and Drink. Send us a digital raven to knowandrink@gmail.com. Subscribe, like, rate, and leave comments on iTunes and YouTube. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And until next time,
As always, I still don't know, so I'll just drink.
As always, do not ever turn your back on the Wolfpack.
as always, Benji's muted.
So am I.
As always, winter came and Gendry didn't.
And as always, stay imaginary.